The only answer was the sweet song of the Grey Wings. With a grimace, she went in search of a place to cool off. Oh, hey guys. We missed you.
That is right. Welcome back to another edition of the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarice.
And we are here to talk about The Great Hunt, chapters 12 through 24. It has been 2 weeks since the last episode, but we're back. We've honeymooned. We've Disneyed. We've Universaled. We did all the things in the California, but we're back.
Yeah, all the big things, you know.
All the things we like set out to do, we did.
Here's the thing, we like drove through downtown LA.
Yeah, we didn't spend much time in LA. We spent a lot of time in Hollywood. Yeah. And a lot of time in Anaheim. And we skipped downtown LA.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a great time. We're gonna not get into that a ton here. If you do want to come chat with us, I'm going to hang out at the beginning of Nerdy Stream later tonight. Yeah,
come over to Twitch. We're going to talk all about the honeymoon and the stuff at, what time? 4?
Whenever you
4 o'clock Eastern today. Oh, twitch.tv/nerdynightly. Come hang out. Clarice is going to be there, and we're going to chat about everything that we did. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But right now, it's time to talk about some Great Hunt. Rant Al Moore, thank you so much for that super chat.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
I feel it's so nice that y'all missed us. That's so.
Yeah, we missed you guys too. It was weird. It was like Friday, and it was like, I guess we'll like put up this video, which was fun. I mean, like Winter Dragon was fun, but yeah.
That Winter Dragon reaction was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did it. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Smut Corner LA version.
Oh God.
Over on Twitch. Come later.
Yeah. Anyways, let's
talk Great Hunt.
Let's get into this. As always, no spoilers past chapter 24 of.
If you spoil things, our mods will be on it.
They're gonna get you.
They're gonna be mean. They're bullies.
Gonna get you.
Our mods are big old bullies. We're now halfway through this book.
Yes.
How are you feeling about it?
Yes. Yeah, we're just over halfway.
Let's start with some thought before we get into like specific moments and whatnot. How are you feeling about it now that we're halfway through the book?
It's moving fast.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff happening, and it's like it just keeps like that ball is rolling, and it kind of has to because we're jumping around. We jump perspectives a few times in the other book, obviously, but a lot of times they were in the same or similar places.
Yeah.
Whereas right now they're like not anywhere near each other or doing anything remotely related to the other. Well, kind of. But
yeah, and also like just it seems like some of these storylines that we're following right now are set to intersect with each other a long time from now.
Yeah.
You know, like we're doing this thing with Rand, like obviously the Rand, Perrin, Matt separation in this section, that feels like it's going to come together again sooner. But like the Egwene and Nynaeve stuff feels like they need to be in the White Tower for a while in order to kind of pull off any sort of real training, any sort of like connection to the White Tower. And so it feels like we are a decent amount of time away from really seeing those characters come back. Eric Gronk, thank you for being a member for 2 months.
Hey, thank
Nargs.
you for rejoining the Narg table. Thank you.
Nargs.
Thank you.
So yeah, I feel like there is this sort of like distant possibility of them seeing Egwene and Nynaeve again, but it feels like it's not going to be for a long time.
No, unless something like drastic changes in the near future. It seems like they are not going to be reunited for a long time.
Arcadita, thank you for becoming a Narg for 2 months.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
That double Narg.
That double Narg. Yeah, so what's the first thing that happens? Did you write it down?
I took notes, y'all.
Nerdy.
I was so responsible.
Nerdy took like good notes. Like at the end of each chapter, he was like, "Okay, all right."
Y'all. From now on, this is a professional outfit. Okay. This is. It only took 7 episodes, but this is a professional outfit.
Okay, so chapter 12 starts with Egwene and Nynaeve.
Egwene leaves Faldara. They're on the road with Das Amerlin Seat. Varen Sedai trains and warns them. Scares, chastises Nin into staying. You enjoyed Varen manipulating Nin.
Min?
Nynaeve. I keep calling her Nin.
Nin. I was like, who the hell? Yeah, okay. I thought, okay, we've talked about this a couple of times with us. Sometimes Nynaeve seems really dumb. And I don't, like, and look, we're still at, like, the beginning of a very long series, and I'm happy to watch characters grow, and I think she's gonna be one of my favorites. I do. But, like, it was so easy for Varen to be like, oh, well, Nynaeve, I guess if you don't want to practice, you can be a novice and do chores. And Nynaeve is like, okay, I'll stay. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because, like, it is fun that Nynaeve is this very powerful, very, like, capable person. And in the things that she's knowledgeable in, she is so knowledgeable, right? Like, she's such a good healer. And you know, she's so strong-headed. But she comes off as stupid a lot to me. In that she has these goals that she is very clearly setting out to achieve.
Yeah. She's like, I'm going to make Moraine pay. Like, wow, okay.
But she wears them on her sleeve so fiercely.
Yeah.
That everyone knows. And, like, she's not fooling anybody.
No.
And
no, she thinks she's being all, like, cool about it. And Moraine straight up knows. Like, it says to her, is like, well, you know, you're going to have to train if you want to, like, kick my ass, basically.
And
she's very small town, right? In her little small town, she was the big fish. You know what I mean? And she never really had to be deceptive or, like, sneaky about her intentions. What she said went because she was the wisdom, and she never really had to have that side of things.
Shadowlink, thank you for that super chat.
Shadowlink, thank you so much.
Nynaeve just thinks the Aes Sedai are looking to manipulate her boys from Two Rivers.
Yeah.
She's also very short-tempered and is dealing with master manipulators.
And
all
she
of
falls
that,
short, yeah.
But she gives them all of the ammunition they need. Immediately. She doesn't try and hide it.
No.
And I just...
Because she doesn't know how it works yet. She doesn't, like, get it. And I'm excited to watch her get it.
I hope so. It is kind of frustrating reading some of the scenes with her where she behaves more childlike than Egwene.
Yeah.
Where she has these temper tantrums that are just so... Like, I wouldn't put up with it. No, if I was an adult dealing with another adult behaving the way that Nynaeve behaves in these scenes, I would be like, get out. Yeah. Go figure out how to be an adult and then come back. And I think that I get very, like, I don't care. If you're going to behave like a child, I will treat you like a child.
Yeah.
And so the fact that then on the flip side, they're like, well, we're just going to raise you to accept it because you're very powerful, undermines the Aes Sedai in a way for me, because I'm like, no, she's very clearly not ready. Like, she is not behaving in a way that betrays readiness to be a part of your cause. And she should be a novice. Nynaeve should be a novice. She has not, in my mind, earned any sort of respect from the Aes Sedai because she portrays herself as a child in all of these scenes with them.
Yes. And thank you so much for joining the Narg table for another month. Armageddon, Swan and Moraine didn't have to kill Varen to experience her master of manipulation. Yeah, I quite like Varen so far. I'm glad she's not.
Oh, Varen's fantastic. I love Varen. Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think that, like, Nynaeve's, I think it's really interesting because it makes Nynaeve very believable, because she has these, like, strong traits that I feel like as a, like, teenager reading this, I would have been like, yeah, you tell him, right? And now as an adult, I'm like, you know, and I think that like her strengths and her faults and shortcomings are, like, very clear, and I find it really fun to read.
But I feel this is one of those moments where I feel like the show cleaned up Nynaeve a lot. Like, I think the show version of Nynaeve is a much more capable character than the book version. Where the book version, book version is literally like, I need to learn how to use the one power in order to fight Moiraine. And then someone's like, all right, I'm going to give you a lesson on how to use the one power. And she's like, well, I don't want that. I'm going to leave. And I'm like, what are you doing? You've literally stated your goal is to learn the one power. And the person who can teach you says, hi, I'm here to teach you. And your response is, well, I don't trust you, so I'm going to leave. And I'm like, what? I'm literally reading those scenes. You're like, are you dumb? Like, are you
You're like, this is not helping you. You're being stubborn for stubborn's sake.
But be so stubborn in learning that you can follow your goals. But don't be so stubborn that you don't accomplish the thing that you set out to accomplish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like being like, I want to be on Broadway, and someone's like, all right, well, you have a great voice. I would love to teach you. I teach Broadway people how to be on Broadway, and you being like, no, I'm gonna do it myself. And you're like, wait, what? That's not how it works.
Yeah, and I think that Nynaeve is learning that, and I think we're going to watch. I think Nynaeve is going to fail miserably very shortly before she can get over all of this. Rant, thank you so much for that super chat. We really appreciate that.
Rant and Mar, thank you for that super chat. Spot on nerdy and points to the tower increasingly floundering for power and politics at play.
Yeah, because they know Nynaeve is powerful. They know this. And they probably are like a little bit nervous about her. And so instead, and so they need to keep her there. They need her to be there with them so that she doesn't go and blow something up elsewhere, right? And so I think accelerating her to accepted was more out of like a little bit of fear that she would not stay as a novice.
But here's the problem with that, okay? If you have a person that you need to keep close, the way that you do that is you build them up from the bottom, right? You make her do some chores. You make her earn it. And you make her earn her way through. And by giving her the first step, what you are saying is that you're so powerful that we are going to ignore your behavior at the beginning. It sets a bad precedent for the Aes Sedai's relationship with her through the whole thing, where they say, oh, no, you're just so powerful that we'll just hand things to you.
That's what I'm...
And so this already... But this character who's already entitled, all of these very intelligent women are going around going, you're very entitled. Let's just give it to you. That's
why I think there's going to be a huge failure and downfall in Nynaeve at some point, because the Aes Sedai have made the wrong decisions.
I feel like they're just gonna like I don't know if I think that's gonna happen. I think that her and Lan are gonna get married and Lan's gonna like help her figure it out or something, but
maybe.
Leah, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
The White Tower putting someone's power level above their readiness is a big problem in the tower it has in general. Okay. Well then,
so if we see that like in other people, it's less surprising, but yeah, I think that it's like a shortcoming, like a falling of the Aes Sedai, and this system, this like structure that they have.
I think for me, it's just this is how we're being introduced to it.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, I'm like, the Aes Sedai are kind of incompetent. Like, I don't think they know how to do this.
Well, there's a reason they're failing, right?
Yeah, true.
They are declining in power and numbers, and it's a problem. They talk about it being a problem.
It's tough because on the flip side, I think that Egwene is... The way that Egwene is handling the training and, like, her, like, nervous acceptedness about not obviously being unaccepted, but about the training and going through it and her desire is so fun to read. And her character, I think the character of Egwene in the books is just so fantastic. I love her so much.
I love Book Egwene.
I love Book Egwene.
I love her a lot, yeah.
And I just, it's so weird to watch her be the more mature character in all of these scenes.
Yeah, even though she is much younger. And even she, like, watches Nynaeve and is like, Nynaeve, stop it. Don't blow off the handle. Like...
Yeah. Don't blow off the handle.
Fly off the handle.
I've never...
Don't blow up. And I mixed up blow up and fly off the handle. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're moving on.
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's interesting to watch this woman kind of flounder.
Yeah. She is, like, so out of her depth. And it's very interesting.
Faye Haas says they need to give Nin an incentive to join them. They don't want to have the most powerful channel in 1,000 years unattached to them.
Yeah. I think that they're scared. I do.
I think they already... But she already has the incentive. And they know that she wants to learn the power to, you know what I mean? Like, all of the Aes Sedai are very aware why she's doing this.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There is a very strong chance with knowing, like, reading Nynaeve, who she is in the book, that she gets there, they make her a novice, and she's like, screw this, I'm not doing chores. I taught myself the one power. I'll go teach myself more of it. Or find other teachers. You know what I mean? Like, knowing Nynaeve, those thoughts are definitely in her head. Oh, I can do this myself. Someone else can do it better than the Aes Sedai.
But by giving her the second level immediately because she's powerful, you're doing the same thing. You're teaching her the same lesson about her own entitlement.
Sure, but now she's in the tower and they can watch over her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They want to have eyes on her at all time because they are worried about her, I think. I really do think that there is a, like, underlying level of fear.
That's fair.
Yeah. So what ends up happening, obviously, is that Egwene and Nynaeve... Oh, this is, like, immediately after the Emerald Sea gets, like, fake shot. They
and
leave
the big thing here is at the end of this chapter, Egwene dreams about Rand, and Egwene starts having.
Is that the end of this chapter? Yeah.
I took notes.
You took notes.
Why are you questioning me? I took notes.
I just thought it was later on for some reason.
Egwene starts dreaming about Rand and about him being in danger, and the Aes Sedai woman, I can't remember which one, is like, "Oh, you might be a dreamer."
Oh yeah, what's her name? Oh, I didn't write down her name, but yeah, she goes and finds who she thinks is one of the more like chill Aes Sedai, who then immediately starts like yelling at the dock workers, and she's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So this idea of Egwene as a dreamer is so interesting because I have no idea what that is.
Do you think she is? I feel like they're setting that up.
I feel like yeah. I mean, if we want to jump all the way to the last, chapter of this section that we just did, Egwene is Min sees the white flame when she looks at Egwene, and I feel like the power of
Min is literally like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be the Amerlin seat." I was
like,
oh,
but
okay.
I don't know that she's gonna be the Amerlin seat.
I feel like she is.
But I think she could be the next Leanne, the keeper of the. Right, like if you had it,
I think you would see the staff then.
But the right hand, but the staff has the white flame at the top of it. That's literally the topper of the staff, right? The most iconic part of it. I think that if you're gonna have someone be the right hand of the Amerlin seat, if Swan doesn't die or if someone else gets elevated or whatever happens, I don't think Swan will be the Amerlin seat for very long. Based on how they're talking about the politics of the White Tower, I have a feeling Swan's
worried about
either going to die or be pushed out. For a story, if you have the same Amerlin seat for 14 books, it's a little repetitive.
Yeah.
I think that Egwene being the right hand, if she's a dreamer, would be a really useful thing for the Aes Sedai to have.
Yeah, I don't know. I read that and immediately my thought was like, Egwene is going to be the Amerlin seat.
Yeah, it's possible.
CJ, thank you so much for the super chat.
I think Robert Jordan wants you to be pissed off at the White Tower and Nynaeve portion of this book. I don't know why he would want that, but...
I feel like he's definitely setting up the flaws.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, well, but it's all because of the Black Aja.
Yeah, 100%. Bob, thank you so much for the super duper chat as well. Here's the thing,
She's your favorite female character. She blossoms later.
That's the thing. I think Nynaeve is going to have, like, the most incredible growth, and I'm so excited for that.
The thing is, they're starting from a great place for her to have growth, because right now she's not very competent.
She's a little shit.
She's so good at using the one power.
Yeah.
But she's incompetent at dealing with people.
She is good at aggressively using the one power. And I think that adds to the level of fear.
Her power level is high, but she is incompetent when it comes to interacting with other human beings.
Yeah.
Which
100%.
is an important skill in a political place like the White Tower.
Yep.
You don't want to be easily manipulated. Before we get out of chapter 12, it's important to note that one morning Egwene is like, "Oh, I need to talk to Moiraine. I had this crazy dream," and she finds out that Moiraine left, Lan left, Leandrin followed them, and Varen left.
Also left.
But Varen did not take her warder. Thomas, poor Thomas.
Which I find super interesting. And I'm not really sure that I understand that decision because poor guy is like, wait, what?
Poor Tomas is like, dude, what is happening?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Sand says there is no Black Aja. I thought this was going to be a joke. Like, because when people started to say there's no Black Aja, I was like, oh, the Black Aja is something we're going to find out in, like, book 9. It's, like, this, like, secret that's been there the whole time.
Nope.
People talk about the Black Aja all the time.
Immediately.
Like, all the time.
Well, maybe not really.
Moiraine talks about it in this chunk of the book that we're talking about. Baalzamon brings it up again.
Yep.
Like, the Black Aja clearly exists.
The Black Aja is literally
and everyone is aware of it.
Literally present in the one chapter with the Draugr thing, right? Like, it's literally there, and I was
like Moiraine is like, Black Aja, and I was like,
cool.
Okay, well, yeah, Black Aja, they must exist. The Shadowling, think of that. RJ wants you to be pissed because till now the Aes Sedai have been super competent. He wants you to see that they are very flawed.
Well, and they do seem flawed, for sure, And coupling that with the way that everyone else talks about the Reds and what to say when you're around the Reds and what not to say, and like, they seem like a very broken system.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Egwene gets on a boat, and Tomas chews his nails. So I felt very seen with Tomas chewing his nails about Varen because I also chew my nails. Yeah. And so the last, we're moving on to chapter 13 here. The last, Steven, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
So the last time we saw Rand, our good old boy Rand al'Thor, my Twitter name shares his last name because I love my redheaded boy. he just fell asleep. He fell asleep. Loyal on one side, Huron on the other, and when he wakes up, where is he?
The multiverse.
The multiverse. Y'all,
yeah.
This almost broke me.
Yeah.
It almost broke me. Because he's like, where am I? And I was like, oh no, did I like forget about a chapter? And I went back to the end of chapter, I think it's chapter 10. And I was like, no, I didn't forget anything.
Nope.
Wait, what's happening?
No, they literally just wake up and they're in the multiverse.
And so what's crazy about this is that Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time has one way to get around beneath the world, which is the ways, another which is like a shadow world, and apparently there can be infinite shadow worlds. Yeah. And I'm like, oh god.
Things that might have been, and
I'm gonna have to take better notes.
Well, the further they are away from like the likelihood of this happening, the like more faded it is, I guess.
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that we might actually get to hop into other worlds that are like as almost as real as the like the sacred timeline is the
I know.
TVA.
I'm like, oh god, we're gonna spend so much time in places where it's gonna be like, is this the real world? Is it not? You're gonna find out later.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have the rug pulled out from under us at least once.
Oh, at least.
Where it's like,
at least
oh
once.
no, you're actually in the multiverse. Surprise.
So they're next to a very beautiful 7-colored stairway, and I just before we move on, I just want to point out that the colors of the Aja don't go together at all, and so all of the they don't. All of the stuff for the Aes Sedai would look just like design-wise horrific.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I will fight you on that. The intro to the Wheel of Time TV show is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And when they have all the colors and they like weave into like into the middle, stunning.
Sure.
Stunning.
In something where everything is like separate sections, right? But like when they're like they had like the 7 colored bands on their outfits, I'm like, that would look insane.
Have you never worn anything rainbow?
No.
Well,
I mostly wear black t-shirts. I don't know if you've noticed this.
No.
I wear gray sweatpants and black t-shirts.
No. We gotta get you some rainbow stuff, because...
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What does matter is Rand sees this beautiful stairway, and he's like, I can channel us back. And Huron's like, please, I have a wife.
Oh my god, I know. I was like, oh, wow, okay. All right.
And so he tries to channel, and he goes to his void. He finds the flame. He pulls that side, and guys, if you ever want to read a book where someone talks about meditating really poorly, The Great Hunt is the book for you, because oh boy, is there a lot in the next chunk of this book about going to the void and oneness and the flame. Like,
yeah, but it's not meditate. It's different. It's a different world. CJ, thank you so much.
CJ, but well, thank you for that super chat.
Duper chat.
But you know what I mean, right? Like in this section, there's a lot of the void.
Sure, I have never meditated or been able to ever meditate. So
you would not be able to channel the one power.
I guess not. So like reading this, I was like, oh yeah, I buy this 100%.
Oh no, it's just that Robert Jordan really loves to describe it. Like in one chapter, Robert Jordan will be like, this is the void, and he'll describe it beautifully one way, and then Rand will come out of it, and then like 3 pages later he'll come up with a new way to describe it.
Yes,
and I'm like, Robert Jordan loves the void.
He really does like to describe the void many times.
But this time he's trying to pull this he's trying to pull the one power, he's trying to get these portal stones to work, and then it shatters, his power shatters like glass and cuts his brain. And I was like, this is the worst.
Yeah.
I was horrified.
I know. I was like, that's terrifying. Why would you... What?
But Huron, he's a sniffer. He's still got that scent. And so they're like, you know, I don't know if we can make it back here, but let's
He's like, I don't want to try doing that again, so let's try
he doesn't want to go crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I don't blame him. I do not blame Rand at all.
He doesn't want to lose his mind. Mm-hmm. And he feels like he's losing his mind because he just woke up in a Shadowland.
Literally. He's like, what the hell happened? I do love, though, in like this chapter and the subsequent chapters, how Rand is like kind of accidentally, but not really accidentally, falling into the leadership role of like being the voice of hope and leadership, and I think a part of it is that Huron like kind of like forces him into it.
Oh, 1,000%, yeah. And Loyal doesn't have the
people skills.
No, Loyal has the like Ogier like culture of like moving a little bit slower and kind of like he's following the history. Loyal wants to watch the history happen. He doesn't want to make it, right?
Yeah.
And so he is not helping. And so Rand is left and the Sniffer has always been subordinate to the person around him. And before he left Faldara, they said that if Ingtar goes down, and we will get to Ingtar, I love Ingtar so much, that Rand is second in command. If Ingtar goes down, follow Rand. So like he has orders to follow Rand if Ingtar's not there, right? And it's so funny to me that Rand is like really trying his best. He's always trying so hard, and he's doing a good job. You know what? For the most part,
he's doing all right.
For having no training, no idea what's going on, and like no reason to believe that he can, he's pushing through and he's making it happen. And that says a lot about him, man.
Yes. Yeah. He's making it work. And
Huron is falling apart. Huron is like, you asked me a question. Are you even a lord?
Yeah. He's I
love Huron so much.
He's wonderful, but he needs someone to follow for sure.
Rand is the Claude Complex has it right. Rand is 100% the testament of fake it till you make it.
1,000%. Yeah. But I think when he meets back up with his party, I don't think that like Perrin and Matt are gonna like that all that much.
That's fair.
Because Matt's a dick.
Well, so the next thing we do is we go back and Perrin wakes up and Rand's gone and Loyal's gone and Huron's gone and everyone's like, there's no trail.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, and like Perrin's like, why'd you take the Sniffer? Because now Perrin has to be like, yo, Ingtar, hey, look, like, kind of like have this wolf thing going on.
Well, but before he tells him, what I love is Perrin is so practical, right? Because Perrin's sitting by himself and everybody's freaking out and he's going, I can do this. I don't want to do this, but like, okay, I'm going to reach out. And he sits down by himself and he reaches out and he like leans into that wolf brotheriness that he cut off after the White Cloak incident when he killed the two White Cloaks, right? Because he doesn't want to be that. And he's really, that inner struggle is so well written by Robert Jordan.
100%.
And he reaches out and the wolves are like, Elias? And he's like, no. Or the wolves are like, Elias. And he's like, no, I know Elias, but I'm not Elias. And the wolves are like, ooh, young bull. We've heard of you.
You're like, wait, what? And they literally like Perrin like watches them like feel the like remembrance, like, but not even the remembrance because like no one was there. This like idea of him like charging at these people, which is probably, it's the same thing with stories kind of get like heightened in retelling. Right?
Wolves would be so dramatic.
Oh, so dramatic. Yeah.
The wolves tell their stories are like, we killed 1,000 fades.
Yeah.
And it was like 3.
Yeah.
10,000%.
But yeah, young bull. I love that Perrin has a name. Yeah. Right? And I love that
his
he
name's
is like
Perrin. He's had it since the first book.
Shush. I mean, you know what I mean. Shit. Anyways,
Takuna imagines the image of the Wall Street Bull.
Just like mowing down White Cloaks. Honestly, that would be
wolves.
Great.
Here's the thing: the wolves have that like memory going back to the Age of Legends, right? So there is a chance that within the storytelling of the wolves, they would have the image of the Wall Street Bull.
Because, not unless there were wolves in New York City, and
there could have been.
Okay.
Yeah, for a variety of reasons. Either they could have been transported to the zoo and like saw it on the way up, right? Or after like the breaking, there might have been wolves living in an empty Manhattan. So I'm just saying there is a possibility that the wolves have the genetic memory of the Wall Street Bull
from
in
like
them.
500,000 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? It's possible. I will give you that. It's
possible.
It is.
You
possible.
Don't know.
No, but
there was the Wolf of Wall Street. That's right, in Susian. The Wolf of Wall Street. Granted, the bull isn't on Wall Street, but it's close. It's right down there.
Yeah. I love that. I love how the wolves have this hive mind and they name things and remember things. I think it's like absolutely fascinating. I love this thing that Robert Jordan has come up with. But yeah, Perrin like sits down, meditates. He like hangs out with them for a minute and is like, so here's the scent. there's like Trollocs, there's like bad dark friends, and the wolves are like, "Arr!" Like they're like ready to
I love that the wolves are so excited to kill the Trollocs that Perrin is like fighting them to not go kill the Trollocs because he needs the dark friends too. Yeah. And he knows the wolves will, he's like, no, you have to wait for us to catch up because you'll leave the dark friends.
Yeah, wait.
God. Methany, thank you for that super chat. Wolves are just gossips. You're correct.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
And so he goes to Ingtar, and this is why I love y'all. I'm falling in love with Ingtar. I didn't think I would, but I am. Ingtar is like, I believe you.
Yeah.
No one else will, so we're gonna lie to everyone. And he's so quick. He's like immediately like,
he's like, this is not gonna go well.
You're a wolf sniffer. Brother? Cool, heard of that before. Let's not tell anyone. You're a sniffer now, and we're gonna convince everyone real quick. Come with me. I got this. And I'm like, Ingtar, you are a man. Yeah, you are like, he's on it. He's ready. He's improvising. He's yes-anding. Ingtar is ready to go.
Yeah,
and this is the man you want in charge.
I know. I have a feeling he's gonna die, and I'm gonna be really sad.
Every company needs an Ingtar.
That's true.
Yeah. I wish I was an Ingtar, but I know that I'm a Huron. You know what I mean?
That is not true. That is.
I am kind of an Ingtar. I think that's why I like him so much. Is I'm like, all right, we got to think on our feet. Let's do this. Ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
And Matt, poor Matt, Matrim Cawthorn is going. Am I taking crazy pills? You're a sniffer now? Yeah. Rand teleported away in the middle of the night with an Ogier and the sniffer. Now you're a sniffer? Is everybody losing their minds?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a little bit bad for Matt, but he's kind of rude, so.
He's not rude. He's going through it. Matt
Hey, Rand, sleep really far away from me, thanks.
Okay, because Rand was an ass to him intentionally. Rand went out of his way to be a dick.
And he explained why.
Matt is dealing with the taint of the dagger.
God, that taint.
He is. You know what I mean? Like, Matt has been putting up with a lot that he does not deserve. And he's trying his best.
No, I know. I know Matt's dealing with a lot, but he's just like, God, just want to like boop him on the snoot. Like, just, God.
He needs to be healed of the taint that is...
He needs to figure out the whole dagger thing, situation. Energy dagger.
Also, Varen just shows up randomly.
Oh, yeah.
Varen's like, Moiraine sent me. Where's Rand?
Yeah. How's it going? By the way,
the
Rand.
horn? Don't really care. Where's Rand?
Yeah, Rand.
So here's the question I have for you. Mm-hmm. Did Moiraine actually send Varen?
Send Varen? No, I don't think so.
So why would she lie about that then? Why do you think she's lying about Moiraine sending her?
Well, I guess she can't lie.
Oh, that's true. She can't lie. So she must be telling the truth. Because she comes out and says, Moiraine sent me.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because otherwise that would be a straight lie. That's interesting. Yeah, right. So Moiraine must have actually sent her.
Yeah. Or there must have been a conversation where Varen was able to like justify saying that.
Why do you think she left Thomas behind? Because that's the thing I can't figure out.
No. Yeah, I really don't know.
Part of the reason why I can't figure out is this is the only chapter in this section with these characters.
Yeah.
We do not see Perrin and Matt. Like this, they literally are just still Perrin is leading them towards the Dark Friends, and that's the end of what we know of them for the 12 chapters that we read.
Yeah.
But I can't figure out why she would leave Thomas behind.
Yeah, it's very strange. Varen to me feels like, I love Varen so much, and I relate, because Varen to me feels like that, like, ADHD hyperfixation. Like, she's like, now that she's in the know, and she's not dead, she's like, all right, I need to find out as much about this as humanly possible. And maybe she hasn't told Thomas what she knows yet.
Yeah, but
Oh, Sam,
thank you for that super chat.
Thank you so much for the super chat.
Do you think we've met anyone from the Dark Friends socially yet? I think we have, but I don't think it's going to be super... I don't think it's anyone who feels obvious. Like, Leandrin feels like she's Black Aja right now.
Yeah, Leandrin feels too obvious, so I don't think it's going to be her. Yeah.
No, I really can't put together why Varen would leave Thomas behind. That's the thing that confuses me.
Has not told Thomas.
But, like, the thing about the warder bond to me that I find confusing is, like, wouldn't their level of trust be that high? Like, if you can't trust your warder with that, they shouldn't be your warder.
No, but, like...
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be that closely bonded with someone, if you can't trust them with your deepest secrets, then then you shouldn't be bonded in that way.
But it's not Varen's deepest secret. You know what I mean?
Right, but like, here's the thing. If someone tells me a secret, they know deep down that you're going to also know it. Right? Like, there's no, unless there's a reason I need to keep it from you, anything that someone tells me, I'm going to tell you. Right? Because we're a pair. Yeah. And, like, I can trust you with everything.
Yeah.
But did she really leave him behind? John Drennan brings up the real questions. Is Thomas acting like he was left behind, but he knows? But he's got to play it up because there's a secret mission.
Mega says she just, like, forgot him. So she just forgot.
She was so excited to finally have something to do that she was like...
She's like, oh.
She got, like, 2 days out and she's like, oh, no.
No, it's like, if you've watched Don't Look Up, it's when Meryl Streep gets on the plane and is like, oh, right, my son.
Should we go back? Nah. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she did tell him and is like, I need you to stay here for a reason. Like, maybe there is, like, literally a reason that she needs Thomas there.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. I think that, because Varen can't be at two places at once. So if something happens here that she needs to know about, Thomas is her eyes there. And I'm sure he's just really anxious about being separated from her because it means that she's in more danger.
Maybe he's chewing his nails because that's his, like, way of, like, hiding something. He's like, I want to tell everybody, but I can't, so I'm just going to chew my nails.
He's bad at keeping secrets, so he chews his nails.
All right, back in the Shadowlands. That's it. That for those characters, we're not going to talk about them again.
Leaves have fallen. What? Come on.
I have no idea what you're singing.
Shadowland from Lion King?
Oh.
You've seen the musical,
right?
I
forgot that song completely.
What do you mean? It's such a good song. Oh my god, it's so good.
It's He Lives in You.
No, it's not, but it's beautiful and like...
I saw Lion King once, like 12 years ago.
Oh my god, I love that song so much.
So, chapter 15, which I call Kinslayer. We're in the world between worlds. And Rand...
called Kinslayer, or is it called Kinslayer?
Is it called Kinslayer? I don't know.
I would love if you were like, I called it this, and that's the name. That is
the actual title.
I called it Kinslayer.
You know what it was? I wrote that one down, and then after that, I started to give the titles my own names. Because of that title.
Oh, God.
CJ Clark, thank you for that super chat. Matt is your favorite character ever. Second favorite, Han Solo. Third, Sokka from Avatar. Boy, howdy, right. Do we have... I feel, the show's gonna be weird about that.
Yep.
If that kid is actually pretending to be indigenous, to be Sokka in that show, fuck him.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Anyway, go look that up. That is Avatar. We will deal with that show when it comes out.
Yup.
Rand is doing his best. He's playing Lord. And he's like...
he's playing Lord. Like you play house as a kid. Yeah. He's playing Lord.
That is essentially what Rand is doing. And he's like, y'all, I will take the first watch. Mm-hmm. Go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And guess who shows up? Daddy Bezos.
Yes, yeah.
Daddy Bezos is here. That's what I'm calling Ba'alzamon from now on. Ba'alzamon is not dead. Despite Rand desperately wishing that he was. Ba'alzamon is back. And I gotta say, if you're a Dark Lord and you're trying to convince someone to be on your side, try different tactics.
Yeah, get rid of the nose.
What?
If you're a Dark Lord. Voldemort had a lot of followers, I'm just saying.
Okay. God damn it.
You're welcome.
But no, he just keeps repeating. He's like, you're gonna be mine no matter what, so just join me. And I'm like, try it. And here's the thing. I really appreciate now the Ishamael stuff from the end of the show, where Ishamael, like, genuinely entices Rand with, like, a real thing he wants. Whereas Book Ba'alzamon just kind of yells at him. And I'm like, dude, like, this is clearly not working.
You're gonna be mine. It's like, okay, all right, we get it. Like,
try any other tactic.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta pull, like, I don't know. You gotta turn him into, like, Anakin or someone who actually, like...
Palpy, my boy Sheev.
Knows how to manipulate,
He takes Anakin to the opera. You know who goes to the opera? Rich, evil people. So, like, Anakin should have known. But Anakin liked the opera, and he was like, well, I guess I'll be a rich, evil person, too. It's just, that's how the circle of life works.
Yeah. Father of Lies is, He's interesting. I think we're gonna get different tactics from him later on, but right now he's definitely just like very set on this. Like, you're gonna be mine anyways, so
It's just
could you hurry up a little?
Fudgy Vimp says Shamail could at least buy Rand dinner first. 1,000%.
Yeah,
1,000%. I have a question for you. But Alzaman keeps calling him Luce Theron.
Yeah.
Do you think Baalzaman, but he's like, I've known so many versions of you, Luce Theron. Do you think Baalzaman always refers to the previous dragon or the previous hero of the light when he's because if there's been so many, why is the Dark One so hung up on using Luce Theron?
Honestly, I think it's because Luce was probably the most impactful, right?
Okay.
Right. I think that Luce really, I mean, he took it his buddies to go try and defeat him once and for all for good, which then the Dark One turned against him and tainted Sidin.
So I
can't remember which one is which, Sidin and Sidar.
He's the one who actually touched the Dark One.
Yeah,
in that moment that allowed the taint to pass into Sidin.
I think that Luce Theron has been the most impactful to the Dark One, and that's why he keeps using that name. I could be wrong, and I could just be projecting onto that, but it definitely seems like it. Because the Dark One is literally I have known 100 versions of you, 1,000 versions, whatever it is that he says.
That Dark One, Luce Theron is just the coolest name. I like that.
That's it.
The Dark One's just it was a dope name. I don't know what else you want me to say.
I didn't want to call you Bob Seymour.
I'm not calling you Randall Thor when I can call you Luce Theron Telemon. Although both those names are pretty great.
This chapter is when Loyal does his song. He gets his little staff.
He sings again, yeah.
He is so worried about where they are that Ogier normally don't carry weapons, and he makes himself a staff because he's is so uncomfortable in this place, and
which he never uses.
Never uses, no. And then
I love 2 chapters later he just throws it away. He's
he's I can't. I'll just make a new one.
I want to point out, the Baalzaman says Shaitan, his own name, and then all this power stuff happens, and I think it's unfair that Baalzaman can use his own name for power. You know what I mean? It's like Voldemort being Voldemort, I'm more powerful now, Harry Potter. That just, it doesn't seem fair that unless Baalzaman isn't the Dark One.
And it's, what's his name?
Wait a second. What if Baalzaman is not the Dark One? Okay. Then I don't know who is. But is somebody else.
Maybe like I said, maybe the Dark One is literally the heart of man, so to speak. I don't know how else to put that.
Heart of man, look to the sky.
Son of Man.
I know, but I just wanted to sing the song.
Okay, all right.
Let your spirit set you free.
So you think that Baalzaman is
what if Baalzaman isn't the Dark One, but he's numero uno under the Dark One?
Yeah. He's what's his name? What's his name? We know
Shaitan.
No. Shaitan is the Dark One's name. The name of the dude, the number one in command. We literally got his name. Ishamael.
Yeah, but Ishamael is the betrayer of hope. He's not the Dark One. He's but he's one below.
But when does he ever say, "I am the Dark One"?
But Baalzaman kind of says that.
Does he?
Yeah, I am you will be mine. He keeps saying I am the leader of the grave. I'm the Lord of the dead. Maybe Baalzaman is Hades, but that's not the Dark One. But he's he's the gravekeeper, underworld guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shadowling says the final battle is just Baalzaman yelling Shaitan and Ren yelling I deny you in a Dragon Ball style power-up episode.
I love it. I love that. Shadowling, thank you
Rand
for the super
spends 4 episodes holding his hands toward the sky building the spirit bomb. It's the moment in Dragon Ball Z that I that is my least favorite. It's when they're fighting Frieza on that planet, and there's literally just episodes of Goku building the spirit bomb. And they're cutting away to all the other things that are happening, and they keep cutting back to Goku, and he's just for
I've never seen it.
2 hours of television. It's insanity.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
I just keep imagining in the Lord of the Rings when when oh my god, I cannot believe
the Dark One is just David Bowie.
No.
I would love if David Bowie showed up in tight pants with that giant codpiece from Labyrinth.
Just started throwing a baby 50 feet in the air.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Oh my god, I literally cannot believe that I am blanking on his name right now because I've seen this movie a billion times. King of Rohan. Theoden. I was like, it's not Theron, it's Theoden. Wow. I know, I can't. No, I just imagine that when Rand is like, I deny you, it's Theoden being like, you have no power here, Gandalf.
A couple of other things that happens. But Alzamon straight up says, Black Aja. There are Aja that work for me.
Yep.
So we get more Black Aja stuff.
He's showing his hand.
He burns the heron into Rand's hand.
That's like metal as fuck. What?
I mean, it is metal. It's literally hot metal.
That's why I made the joke.
No, it made me laugh. And I my note here is just that it's a stale sales pitch. I feel like he could sell Rand better. I found the Alzamon sales pitch to be lacking.
You're right. If you're a car salesman and like they look like they're gonna dip, you gotta switch tactics.
You know what he needs? He needs to go to like a Vegas conference for salesmen. You know what I mean? But Alzamon could use a life
class.
coach. You know what I mean? He needs to go to one of those conferences where there's a guy on stage being like, if you let him, you'll be in a van down by the river.
Okay, that's very loud for our listeners.
Anyway.
No, I think that you're right. I think that, like, here's the thing. I always found it super weird that the Dark One is supposed to be, like, trapped in a place. And he just keeps showing up. Yeah, he's just kind of everywhere. So it makes complete sense that this dream person is not actually the Dark One. I think
fair, yeah. But also, like, the seals on that prison are weakening. He's not as trapped.
Yeah.
But Agenor got out, and the guy who was with Agenor, I can't remember his name.
The weird face guy.
Yeah.
But no, I think if they got out,
then the Dark One can, like, seep out a little bit.
No,
he can like dip his toes.
No, I think it's another Forsaken.
Michael Scott taught Baalzamon all he knows. God damn it. All right, chapter 16. This is oh my god, y'all. We're 47 minutes in, and we are just getting to the character I want to spend an hour talking about.
Oh yeah.
Rand. I called this chapter Rand versus the Void. Because Rand is like, I don't want to be in there, but I want to be in there. I need to be in there, but I don't want to be in there. Oh my god, I'm in there. Nope, there's the power. Gotta get out of here. We get a lot of that. So they wake up. Everyone's concerned about Rand. He says he's fine. Whatever. They head towards this monument. They're like, oh my god, it's Ardor Hawkwing's monument. And then they get a little bit closer, and they're like, nope.
Nope, it's a raven. And it's covered in Trolloc script.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Yeah.
This world is a nightmare.
Yeah, literally. And that's the moment where I think it's Loyal is like, I think that this is like a alternate version of reality that wasn't very likely or something.
Because that's what I thought I was going to get out of this fantasy series was alternate realities.
Yeah, you know, that's a nice surprise. Nice price.
And we get as they get closer to the monument, they look over and there's a woman peeking over a hill.
No, she screams.
No, before that. Rand like sees her like peeking over a hill. She's like, is that a woman peeking over that hill? What was that? And then she's gone. He's like, oh, okay, that was weird.
Well, and it's interesting because it's definitely the same woman that Uno keeps seeing.
Do you think it's the same woman as that?
Yes, it's a woman in a white dress.
Okay.
100%. But I think that she's like trapped in this plane of existence, and so she flickers in and out of like reality in like the main world. And that's why they can't, like, find her. There's no trace of her, but Uno keeps, like, seeing her. I think it's her.
Ooh, wait. But what if she's not trapped here? What if she is the one who activates the portal stones that gets Rand, Loyal, and Huron through?
I don't really know why that would be. It seems like
because she needs the Rand to, like, trust her.
She acts like she can't leave by herself.
Right, to get Rand to channel. But if the goal is to get him to keep channeling to go crazy so that he joins the Dark One, then she needs him to keep channeling.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it definitely read
Selene
very much.
Selene works for the TVA.
She 100% does. No, to me, like, look, you might be 100% right, but reading it literally just felt to me like she was trapped in this place, and was like waiting for someone to come and like make her leave because she can't do it herself. Right? She knows all this information.
No, but that's what she says. I think it's really important to note that that is what she is saying is true.
No, she doesn't.
She says she's trapped and she needs him to get out.
Yeah,
that's literally what she says.
The best lies have elements of truth in them, right?
No. The best lies are told by really good liars.
Yeah, and really good liars know when to give you truthful information.
But she doesn't. But
that's why the Aja are so good at it, right?
But she doesn't need to here. There's no reason for her to be telling the truth. There's no reason to think that anything she says is true. Selene is the most immediately distrustful character I've ever seen written into a book.
Ever. I like read her and I was like, oh, sus. Very sus. Ejected.
Immediately sus.
Yeah,
I was like, Selene. Okay, so Selene's evil.
Yeah. Oh,
immediately upon meeting her.
She's the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in her life. Okay, she's evil.
No, that wasn't it. It was the fact that Rand sees her over the hill. And then 3 seconds later, she screams.
Yeah.
And then Rand they go over, and she's like, "You have to shoot it in the eye."
Yeah.
She's just immediately like, "Here's the thing that you have to do." Rand goes to his void and right in the eye because apparently the void makes Rand a superhero.
Well, he was already a good archer.
Okay, but the void turns Rand into Legolas. He's literally like, pew, eyeball. Pew! Eyeball. Pew! Eyeball. Do you know how hard it is to hit an eyeball? An eyeball with an arrow. You don't know
how big those eyeballs are. Those toads might have really big eyes. It could be like a baseball. Are they like a mix between like a toad and like a...
But they're like furry.
I thought they had like weird leathery skin. I don't remember. Let me see if I can... It doesn't really matter, but I just imagine they were like big eyes because it was like a big monster.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or if a bear had a frog's gray-green hide. Yeah. So this is like a frog as big as a bear.
I read that backwards.
Fair enough. Yeah. I don't know. I just figured that it had big eyes.
And so Selene is like, dope. My hero. And then Brand is like, oh my god, you're hot.
He's like, boner alert. Like, he literally like cannot.
Boner alert. Selene is... Selene! Selene. That's what Egwene sings. Please don't take my man away from me.
Egwene is just singing some Dolly. Oh my god.
But I need it. I need the actress who plays Egwene to put... I'm gonna pay for a cameo from her of her singing Jolene, but it's Selene instead.
No, Selene.
Selene.
Oh god, no, I need that. 100%.
And then all the other women who are into Rand show up and they're singing backup, and it's like Elaine, Elsa, Min, all of them are in the background with like their own guitars, like doing harmonies.
Someone's got the triangle.
Oh my god.
That's Elsa. Elsa's got the triangle. She just gets to ding it once.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't get to ding it. She just like she's reading the music, like waiting. She's like flipping pages. Like, when do I play this fucking thing? Why'd they give this to me?
She's like, oh, I'm not in it. Cool. Just leave it happening. Oh wow, I need this.
I love Dolly Parton so much.
I really hope.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Because there is like an app called like Cameo or something, right? Where you can hire celebrities to like make like a birthday thing. Yeah, so we could.
What I just said.
Oh, I'm just saying. I hope that she joins it.
Because
if she does, we're commissioning this.
If not, I'm gonna buy a wig that looks like her, and I'm gonna deep fake her face onto my face, and I'm gonna perform.
Braid your hair.
Well, no, she's out of Emmons Field now, so she's just letting it fly free.
Oh, that's true.
No
she's
braids.
Not her hair. Mm-hmm.
No braids.
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't know I needed that until this moment.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
That was amazing.
Selene. So I had a few questions here that I wanted to ask you. Is Selene Lanfear?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because is it the very next chapter, I think, when Moraine is with the two Aja who like left the White Tower, and she literally asks them about Lanfear, and you're like,
We think that Selene is definitely a Lanfear, right?
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page here.
Yeah.
But I had if you said no, I was gonna ask you a different question.
Okay, what if no, I don't.
So she's from Caerhyen. She says she's a Caerhyen noble. Who do we know that has magic powers, is a hot lady, and is from Caerhyen?
I don't know.
Moiraine. Moiraine Sedai.
Oh, whoa.
So I was thinking, like, this is like a shadow world, a reflection. Is Selene evil Moiraine?
I don't know.
She's
how
like,
short is she?
You know how like
she's too tall.
But like I'm thinking like maybe Robert Jordan was a big Star Trek fan, and he liked the mirror universe, and maybe. We would know that Selene was evil if she had a goatee, but she's a woman, so she doesn't have a goatee, right?
Right, of course, yeah. Of course. That would make it so much easier.
It would make it very,
Maureen variant.
She's a Maureen, yeah, she's a variant Maureen. Here's my other question.
I do love that, but no, I don't think that that's the case.
We see her using power over Rand, right? It's more than just her, like, natural beauty. There is something that she's doing to, like, make Rand have, boners throughout this whole thing. Do you think that it is using the one power? Or do you think that it's like a natural gift like sniffing is for Huron or the wolf brother is for Perrin? Like, does she like...
The Dark One blessed her.
No, but like enchanting men. Do you think that it's like... Oh, or is she not human? And she's like a siren or something like that?
I'm sure she probably started off as human, right? But the Forsaken. I keep getting Forsaken and Forsworn from Aragon confused, and I keep second-guessing myself.
Oh.
Karheen. Okay.
Wait, Kyrien? Why? You are all saying different things. You are all saying confused. Different pronunciations for that word.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But like, because her enchanting doesn't seem to be weaving.
I think
like it feels like it's something that's inherent to her.
I think that she has been changed by the Dark One in a way, not obviously the same, but in a way similar to maybe how Fane was changed by the Dark One. Like literally, like given other powers and abilities and things like that that are just now inherent and like part of, because she's been evil for a millennia, right?
He keeps switching when she touches him though, so it feels like it is a intentional. It is a power. It doesn't just feel like he's just falling for her looks.
Yeah,
there is something deeper to it because it's he's like no, and she's like but, and as soon as the touch happens, he's like oh okay, and so I feel like there's something in her touching him.
But here's, I don't know about that because she also gets so mad when he is like really stubborn and he is able to say no to her.
But every single time, Robert Jordan makes such a effort to point out that she touches him and he changes. It's like 4 or 5 times that she does the exact same thing. And sometimes and this is why I think it might not be the one power, because sometimes it's not enough, right? Sometimes it's not a big enough sway to get him to do it.
Right.
So that's why I'm thinking, like, is this like a just like the Wolf Brother thing? Is this like this undercurrent thing that she has that like doesn't always work? It's not foolproof.
Yeah.
But it's like Poison Ivy's lipstick. Like it works the majority of the time, but some people can overcome it. You know?
Here's the thing. If she is channeling though, we have no way to know. Like she very well might.
Oh, I'm just asking what you think it is.
I don't know. I think it could be channeling because obviously none of Rand or Loial or Huron would be able to know if she was channeling or not.
Yeah.
But also, I think that she's probably just been evil for so long that she has like gifts from the Dark One to enhance like manipulation and things like that.
This is one of those moments where I don't know how they translate this for the show. Because now that Rand fucks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that Rand lays pipe,
oh my god.
He's not a virgin farm boy in the show. And so when he meets Selene, she's not going to like show her thighs and Rand's going to be like, "Oh my god, I've never seen those before."
Yeah, literally because he literally talks about it. He's like he hadn't seen like a lady's like calves unless they were like young children who like tied them up to go play in the river.
Right.
And he says they stopped doing that long before they can braid their hair. So they're not even like women. They're like so yeah, it is it's going to be really tough for the show because Rand, in that sense, has a completely different maturity level. And, him being, like, very, like, chaste and old-fashioned in the book allows him to be more easily manipulated by Selene because he has no idea what's going on. Right?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. It's just they've written show Rand to be so different from book Rand.
Yeah, and he literally thinks about marrying her. It's not even like, dang, I'd like tap that. It's like,
floor.
A wife.
So you've been sore. Tap that. Whoa.
It's smack that.
I know, but you said tap that. I just wanted to, I was leaning into it.
God.
Okay. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I just think it is one of those weird things where it's like, by making Rand more sexually capable and sexually, like, aware, you are taking, you're making something like this where he's manipulated by her looks a lot harder to buy in the show.
Yeah.
Because we know that he's seen a woman naked.
Yeah. He's literally slept with Egwene, and, I mean, probably just Egwene, but, like, we don't know.
The big question, though. Mm-hmm. The most important question. Who would you cast as, if you were to cast Selene as a pale, dark-haired, most beautiful woman in the world? Because I have the right answer. I know who the right answer is, but who would you cast? All right, the battle of the right answers. Who are you casting as Selene? And it can't be yourself. I know that you're very hot, but it has to be someone else.
No, I'm good. Olivia Wilde.
Interesting.
Olivia Wilde. 100%. Yeah.
Huh. That's not who I expected.
She's got that sneaky undertone of, like, evil, but she's, like, so hot,
It's the wrong answer.
No, it's not.
It's a right answer, but it's the wrong answer. The correct answer is Alexandra Daddario. She's got the pale skin for it. That, like, Alexandra Daddario looks like the drawing of Selene on the cover of the book. Olivia Munn's also great. Young Angelina Jolie. Yeah, we're gonna de-age Angelina Jolie. Honestly, Angelina Jolie right now. Did you guys see Eternals? God damn.
Okay.
Kate Beckinsale would have been great.
We went with two very different hot people.
There's so many hot people.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But, like, right? Like, they both have very different vibes. I think that's super interesting.
She's younger though. She would be closer to Rand's age.
Yes, that is true. Olivia Wilde is, I guess, I'm thinking of her, like, in House. And House was, like, 10 years ago.
So my final question for this chapter is, did Baalzamon burn Rand to give Selene something to heal? To ingratiate her with him? Are Baalzamon and Selene working together?
I don't think so. Okay. I feel like Selene is trapped.
The chapter ends with them being chased. Chase scene happens. Big old chase. And it's a chase scene, so the Wheel of Time show will not do it because they like to cut those. They're chased by the Grolms. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
I'm still salty about the blight. So Rand goes into his void because there's 5 Grolms coming at him. And they're like, we gotta run. And Rand's like, nah, I got this. And he throws arrows. He throws 4 arrows in the ground, takes 1 arrow. He's got like 20 arrows, but he's like, I need 5. And he goes into his void, and he goes all like, namaste. And he goes, ping, 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 ping. 5 eye shots. Rand is god tier archer at this point.
Oh yeah, he has become Legolas.
Do you
100%.
think that he's channeling while he's in the void? Do you think that he's not? Do you think his aim is so good because he's channeling and he just doesn't know it?
No, because I feel like Robert Jordan has done a good job. He likes to be very descriptive about the void. I think he's done a good job of talking about the, like, channeling part of it, right? Mm-hmm. That is, like, this overwhelming light, and, like, it's a thing that, like, Rand almost can't, like, help himself from doing at certain points.
Okay.
So, no, I don't think he's channeling. But yeah, he definitely becomes, like, in the scene, like, god tier warrior with the sword. He's like, now this pose with the sword and this pose with the sword.
Oh yeah, Rand goes full on, like, I am Lan now.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He is Legolas.
Yeah.
Rand is Legolas.
Here's the thing. I think that Rand has always been a good archer. I think that he's always, like, that to me is, like, is very believable because I just, he's a hunter, he was a sheep herder, he's been on the run for a long time. Like, I think he's good with the bow and arrow.
So he kills those 5, and then but there's too many. There's too many. He can't kill them all. So they get chased to the stone, and for some reason they seem to be chased directly to the stone because the Groms are coming on all sides except for that one.
And that's what Selene wants.
That's not suspicious at all.
No, not suspicious.
Selene knows that Rand can channel. That's suspicious. How does she know that he can do that? We don't know.
Because she's Lanfear.
She also keeps being like, the more you're in the oneness, the better you'll be off.
And she's like, think about the glory of the Horn of Valyria.
You cannot write a more suspicious character than Selene.
No.
Like, you literally would have to, like...
She's also like, Aes Sedai.
How dare you? How dare you call me an Aes Sedai?
Yeah. Oh, God.
I
she's
just...
great.
Yeah, you could literally hang a sign over her that says "Don't trust this woman," and it would not change how suspicious she is.
It would be less suspicious.
It would be less suspicious. I'd be like, oh well, if you're gonna tell me that, then
100%.
It's like how I feel about Leandrin, where Leandrin feels like she's written so far to make us suspicious of her, and I just know that because she's so suspicious, that she's not going to be.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So Rand uses the one power.
Yep.
He taps in. He gets this druggy feeling that sounds awful, but also amazing, which is kind of like most drugs. Like, they're awful, but they're amazing. It is true. Like, when you, like, oh my God, the day after you do ecstasy, it's not great. And Nerdy says, curious, why do you think Jordan did that? Made Selene so obviously suspicious? Oh, I mean, it's obvious, right? Like, he wants the audience to know that Rand is being manipulated.
Well, I think so. And he makes it very clear as well, because Egwene is having these like nightmares about him falling into a trap.
And that there's a woman. No, Selene is not trapped in that world.
Why? Because
Egwene's dream is that she sees a woman standing over Rand and then he disappears. Egwene literally sees Selene use the one power on the portal stones to get them through to the Shadow Realm. That's what her dream is him getting transported. And then the next chapter, he wakes up there. Egwene literally sees it happen. Selene is not trapped at all. She's manipulating all of this. She's fully in control.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that she has,
it is literally what Egwene is a dreamer. She sees it happen, and then it happens. Yes, there is nothing more obvious than that.
But we know that the dream world is different from like the normal world, which is why Selene is which is why Uno, I think.
No, but this isn't the dream world. I don't think that dreamers and the dream world are the same thing. I think that dreamers are foretellers in their dreams, but the dream world is a separate thing. Because I don't think Egwene was there. Right? I don't think Egwene was there when it happened in the dream world. I think that Egwene was seeing the real world in her dreams. I think that you're putting way too much faith in Selene being trapped there. I do not think she was at all. I think Selene was fully in control the entire time.
I think she was trapped there, but I think that she has moments and some semblance of control in the main world, which is why she is seen a few times. And so I think that she was able to manipulate him getting there, but...
It just feels like she was following them, and then she took Rand where she needed him to go, and then he went there. Like, it feels too convenient for her to have been in all these places and in Egwene's dream and then be trapped.
Oh, I definitely think Selene 100% got Rand there. I don't think Rand fell asleep and channeled in the middle of the night to get them. Like, that seems wild to me. I do think that Selene, like, is the one who orchestrated that, but I think that she is, like, I think that she is trapped. It's, like, somehow, or is, like, in between worlds. And is trying to, like, come into, like, the main timeline.
Well, speaking of Egwene, we're back with her. We're back on the ship. A ship captain is mentioned, but it is not our ship captain.
It's not our ship
captain. It is not the captain of the ship that is my heart. Vale Dahlman. Typhon, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you.
Tam Althor taught Rand the flame and void technique, and he and Matt's father is a better archer. Archery is a Two Rivers thing. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, Rand is a good archer. He's
like 5 for 5.
When your life is on the line and you got to put food on the table.
The best archers in the world at the Olympics struggle to hit 5 for 5 when the targets aren't moving.
Yeah, but that's at like how many paces?
I'm talking about the best archers in the world with like fancy ass equipment. Rand has a bow that he's been carrying on his back for like 6 months.
It's not that hard to hit a target though. Like
we are making a video of you backing up that statement.
I have done archery 3 times in my life. I'm going to be completely honest. 3 times.
I have done archery 3 times.
3 times.
I know exactly how hard it is to kill an animal while it's charging at you.
I at least hit the target most of the time. Like, I don't hit the bullseye, but I get the arrow on the target.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that they're like Rand has been doing this his whole life.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard to kill 5 things in a row with eye shots.
Whatever. The eyes might be this big.
That's true. We don't know how big the eyes are.
Because toads have huge eyes.
How big do bears?
It's not a bear eye though. It's a toad. So think of how big a toad's eyes are.
No, it has a toad like hide, but
it's basically a toad as big as a bear.
All right.
The eyes might be like this big. I'm just saying.
So I called this one the bottle episode.
The bottle?
Yeah, bottle episodes are when everything takes place in one place. And this is a conversation in a room. This
I love
is
that.
A fun episode. I love that starting off here, Nynaeve is seasick.
Yeah.
And I love that Nynaeve is seasick because this chapter ends up being about her and the Amelin Seat having this face-off. Mm-hmm. And I love that it starts with Nynaeve being unable to really compete with the Amelin Seat in her territory, right? Like being on a ship is the Amelin Seat's territory. She grew up in a fishing village. She's so comfortable here, and Nynaeve is so uncomfortable here.
Yeah.
And so they start off, they're opposites in the way that they view the Aes Sedai. They're opposites in a lot of ways, right? In terms of their desires, but they're also opposites in terms of their reaction to the environment that they're in. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a really smart way for Robert Jordan to put Nynaeve at this state of unease going into this interaction.
Yeah. Before
it even starts, right?
Adam, thank you so much for that super chat.
Adam, thank you for that super chat. And I really enjoyed it. I like this a lot. This chapter is really fun. Because it betrays just how bad the Aes Sedai are at training people and enticing people to be Aes Sedai. They're like, nobody wants to be members of us. All we do is torture you. But like, God, we can't seem to get people to stick around.
Yeah.
Maybe don't torture people. Maybe if you don't like attack people to get them to use the power, you wouldn't have such a hard time recruiting. They're like, our biggest problem is we can't find enough women to get through our program. And then they're like, what's your program? Oh, we like torture you and shove shit down your throat and whip you. And like, I'm like, yeah, no shit. Of course people are like, nah, I'm good, honestly.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh no, this isn't even the worst of it. Once you're a member of us, we treat you even worse. Yeah, I would be out the door too. I'd be like, nah, I'm good. You know what?
Maybe not.
Thanks. But this sounds miserable.
Yeah.
And then they're sitting around being like, well, wait, there's so few of us. What happened?
Why? It's like, well, I can tell you.
Well, and all of the Aes Sedai have to be these like incredibly cold, standoffish people who don't trust each other because they were. Can I help you?
No, I'm just was looking for something in chat. That's all.
Oh, okay.
No,
You're just on your phone.
No, I'm
I didn't realize you were on the YouTube video.
I keep it up here in case we miss things. That's all.
I have it right here.
Yeah, but it's not. This one I can like scroll back on. Anyways, yeah, being an Aes Sedai sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, and then they complain about the fact that people don't want to be one, and I'm like, yeah, and then they don't trust each other because they tortured each other to get there. Of course they don't trust each other. This group, I'm amazed they've lasted this long.
I mean, they're barely holding it together.
They're barely holding it together.
Yeah.
Everything about being an Aes Sedai sounds terrible. Everybody hates you. You don't like each other. You can't trust anybody. The only bonus is that you get a man that you have complete control of, because we're going to get into that whole conversation about land later. But like, it's a miserable organization. V-Drake says the Aes Sedai are basically Jedi. No, the Jedi meditate, and they hang out, and they're super chill. They don't, like, stab each other with lightsabers.
Well.
Growing up in the Jedi Temple, you get great food, you get treated really well, you have to meditate a lot. Oh no, you have to do your stretches and your forms. But no one is shoving black goo down your throat so that you get so angry that you try and attack them. That's nuts.
But like, you get dental, so you know. Yeah. Dental is nice.
Anyway, yeah.
It definitely does seem like becoming an Aes Sedai is a nightmare. But I think that, like, that really forces people who don't have, like, the greater good in mind to leave, to not continue on with it, right? Like, you have to want to make the world a better place.
That's not true.
Or, murder men.
But that's the problem. That's not true. You have to want power.
Yeah.
If you want to make the world a better place, you're not going to put up with torture to do it. But if you want power, you will. You have created a pipeline where the people that you are pushing through to the top are the people who will do anything for power.
Yeah.
Which is inherently going to lead to corruption and deceit and black Aja. Like, now that I know how the Aes Sedai train each other, the fact that they're black Aja is the most sensible thing in the world.
Makes sense.
Because your pipeline is torture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is abuse, right? Yeah. Like, it's such a flawed way of doing it.
Well, and literally, like, Moraine is like, I went through a time where I couldn't channel, and you know what? My teacher came into the room and attacked me in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, wow.
Well, and let's look at The Last Jedi, right? Like, what?
Stephen, thank you for the super chat.
Remember that Nynaeve can only channel when she's angry. That's why the Amelin was doing those things to make her mad. That is not an excuse.
Yeah.
That is... Okay, so let's look at The Last Jedi, right? Why does Kylo Ren become Kylo Ren? Why does Ben Solo go evil? It's because Luke Skywalker comes into his room in the middle of the night and ignites his lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
When you threaten people, when you abuse them, when you beat them down like that, they do not trust you, and then they go bad. Mm-hmm. They become selfish. They become protective. They become defensive. They have walls up all the time, so you can't trust one another.
Uh-huh. The problem is Nynaeve already has those walls.
Sure. But torturing her is not going to break them down and make her more amiable to believe that you're good people. Mm-hmm. If you're like, oh, you want to be one of us? All right, here's pain. It's insanity. That's not how you build a strong order. And of course the Aes Sedai are failing. Their methods make no sense.
Yeah. Do you think that, like, before the breaking of the world, that they had completely different methods?
1,000%. Because actually know what they were doing.
Yeah.
The Aes Sedai keep being like, we use this thing. We don't know how it works.
We don't know what it does, but we use it for indoctrinating you. So go face your worst fears. Yeah. I wonder if we get to find out more about the Aes Sedai before the breaking, because I would be so curious.
Yeah, me too.
I'd be so curious.
Shivang Mather says Aes Sedai really have a classic perpetuating cycle of bullying. That is 100% true. And what I was so...
Because they work for them, so they do it to others because they think that it's the way to do things.
Well, and what I was so struck by was reading this Aes Sedai stuff at the same time that all of these things are being unearthed about the Russian figure skating program. And, like, the bullying and the way that they train their figure skaters. Mm-hmm. And those figure skaters burn out and become bitter, angry adults.
Yep. And
it's no wonder that the Aes Sedai has the same problems that the Russian figure skating program has, because they use the same methods.
I mean, it's not just the Russian. Oh, there was a movie, Tanya.
I, Tanya?
Yeah, that one. I mean, she wasn't Russian, she went through some like...
Oh, sure. But I'm talking about, like, that's a whole... That is very different from this. That was not a structural issue. That was Tanya's family. That wasn't like... I'm talking about the structure of the Russian figure skating program as a whole from the coaches down.
Right.
Is very similar to this.
We will... either you will break or you will be the best, and then you will break after anyways. So...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
V Drake says, thank you for that super chat. The Aes Sedai are a military organization. This is boot camp for fighting the Dark One. Think of Swan as acting like a real mean drill sergeant. I don't agree with that.
I also don't agree with what the army does to people, so...
Sure, but the army, that's not what the army, it's tough.
What if the last battle requires figure skating?
What?
What if the last battle requires figure skating? Then we're doomed.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Matt Cawthorn on figure skates?
1,000%. Yeah, Barney Harris in tights. He can do it.
Barney Harris in tights.
But yeah, I think that, like, I don't know. I think that the methods of the Aes Sedai are very flawed. They're flawed.
Yes.
And when I'm like, oh yeah, of course there's Black Aja. Look at how you treat each other.
Yes.
There's no trust here. There's no faith in this.
Well,
and they don't even believe in the same. And here's the problem, right? The Aes Sedai fundamentally,
they're so fractured within themselves.
They fundamentally don't believe in the same reality.
Yeah. They're like the Reds believe the reasons for the breaking are different than everyone else. Like, that's insane.
And so because the Aes Sedai can't even get on the same page in terms of the reality they're living in.
Not that insane, I guess. Look at what we're...
I have a feeling, honestly, I have a feeling that within a few books from now, the Aes Sedai will not be one organization anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are going to be the Aes Sedai that are like around Nynaeve, Egwene, and Rand, which is going to be one team. Yeah. And then there's going to be the separate Aes Sedai. And it's going to be just like when the men and the women didn't go fight the Dark One together. And like they're going to have to work to get the good Aes Sedai that aren't on their team onto their team for the final battle, because there's going to be the factions of the Aes Sedai are going to fall apart in this series.
Yeah.
There's too many unstable pillars underneath this White Tower for it to last through 14 books.
Yeah. I agree. That like they're a mess. They are a hot mess. And especially the crazy like differences in beliefs within the organization, and that that just creates, that just like sows like, it's like no wonder the Blues and the Reds hate one another when they're like fighting over each other for a seat of power so that they can push their own like factions' beliefs,
their own ideas about reality.
Yeah, literally. Oh yeah, no, those Ogier, screw those guys because they like helped these men who were going mad, like. Yeah.
So we get to the confrontation between Nin and Nynaeve. I keep saying Nin. And the Emerald Seat, she comes in, she's like, I'm gonna be your teacher today. And I was like, what?
I know, I was like, Swan.
I was so excited. I love the actress who plays Swan in the show so much, and I want this scene. Although I don't know that you could. Nynaeve isn't as angry at the Aes Sedai in the show as she is on the books.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. She does feel like a very different character.
Rand,
thank you for the super chat.
Makes me wonder how different the tower was when it formed. Would the structure have been necessary back then?
That's what I want to know. I really am super curious about
the Sequin Aja. Ice skating special.
Oh my god.
I'm a member of the Glitter Aja.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's one of those things where I would love to know how they did it back then. And like what changed and why? And is it just because their understanding of their own history is so fractured and like cobbled together from pieces?
Ice skating Sedai. Oh man, that's funny. Sorry. No, you're right. You're right. I find it so fascinating.
Yeah.
Especially because the White Tower didn't exist, right? Like the Ogier built it after the breaking of the world.
Was it after the breaking?
Yeah, all of the Ogier cities were built after the breaking of the world. They started to build it during the Longing. So the Aes Sedai had a completely different building in the Age of Legends, right? The Ogier built Tarvalon after, because they built it in the shadow of
the
Dragon
mountain.
Mound.
Yeah, the mountain. Yeah.
So it's just very cool.
CJ, thank you so much for the super chat.
With the Aes Sedai training, remember RJ was in the army in Vietnam. I bet drill instructors were a bit of a bully. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, 100%. But the thing that the American military has always done, questionably but well, is the sense of brotherhood, right? And like the thing from all the veterans that I know, I'm not personally one, but all the veterans I know have always talked about how they do such a good job of like putting you into a class of like, these are your brothers, and there is the drill sergeant, but there's 20 people around you with your drill sergeant who there is that push and pull against the drill sergeant, but you get your brothers, and I feel like the Aes Sedai haven't done that yet. Maybe we'll get that in with the other accepted.
Maybe that's like maybe that's like within your color, but even then I don't know.
But you don't get your color. But you don't get your color until after you're accepted.
Yeah,
that's too late, right?
Yeah. At that point, it's tough.
We need to keep going though. We're at an hour and 23 minutes, and we have so many chapters left.
Oopsie.
Guys, I love talking about the Wheel of Time so much. This is like one of my favorite book series ever, and we're only a book and a half into it.
I know.
Robert Jordan just writes so well. He writes so well.
Yeah. It's so good.
So Nynaeve and Aes Sedai and the Emerald Seat attack each other, like literally attack each other.
Oh yeah.
Like straight up attack each other.
Egwene is like, oh god, like Perry Wolf, thank you so much for
Thank you
that
for the
super duper duper
I think
chat.
because Robert Jordan was in the army, he integrated into Aes Sedai society. He makes it clear that they want novices to want this more than anything, even overcome the hardships to ensure they're tied to the tower. Yeah, I think that that's true. I think that the piece that's missing is the like sisterhood with someone else. Like,
yeah, they
give them a reason to be part of a team.
They do call each other sisters. Yeah. It really does not feel like anyone likes anyone else except for Moiraine and Swan.
And Moiraine and Elena. Moiraine and Elena have a really nice friendship.
Yeah, but I honestly got more of that in the show than I did in the book.
No, I got it in the book too. The one where Leandrin walks away and Moiraine and Elena are like, I was like, that's a friendship right there. They know they trust each other.
Yeah, for sure.
And Moiraine and Varen trust each other, right?
Well, yeah, but they were ready to straight up murder Varen. Yeah. They pulled on the one power so quick. I don't know.
But then they eased up when Varen like told them how she felt. Yeah. So poor Egwene is frozen there. Just like she's been like shut down by
yeah, literally like in a hold, like just and my favorite part is that Swan forgets about her for a second, and she's like, excuse me, excuse
please, ma'am, can I move?
After Nynaeve and Swan have like tossed each other. Well,
and after Swan shields her. This is the first time this is the first time in this series. So we know about shielding now because of the show, right?
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've ever really heard about shielding.
Yeah, cuts her off from the one power.
In this, I guess we knew about Logain being shielded, so maybe that's not true. But like, this is the first time we've been in a scene with it, right? Because we haven't met Logain yet. We meet him for the first time. We meet him like in a close scene. Obviously, Rand saw him from afar in the first book, but this is the first time we see someone be shielded in a scene in the book.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve is like.
Yeah.
And Emily sees like, do you want me to give you your power back? And she's like, yes, please.
Yeah.
I will do the lesson. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But it just makes her more mad. And I think, I do think that that's the biggest problem is that Nynaeve can already only channel when she's angry. Mm-hmm. And so they're just making her more angry and that doesn't help anybody.
No, but I think that the goal is to like, I think the goal is to have her channel some really big once so that like she like shatters through whatever is blocking her from.
But she's done that many times.
Yeah, it's true. And honestly, like I don't know how you do any of this in the show.
I don't know either because we've already been to the White Tower.
Well, and Nynaeve's relationship with the One Power in the show is going to be so different after almost burning out at the end of the finale, right?
Yes.
Like, I feel like that changes you.
Yes.
And if it doesn't change Nynaeve, then she's kind of a boring character because big things happen to her and she doesn't adjust because of them.
No, yeah.
And so I feel like that scene with the 5 women and Nynaeve and Egwene almost burning out is going to cause Nynaeve's relationship to training at the White Tower be so different from the books. Because she already knows the danger of burning out. She's felt it. She's almost burnt out herself.
Yeah.
And I all of this Nynaeve in the White Tower stuff, I feel like is going to be so drastically different because of that scene.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really interesting to see how they play that. Because the actress who plays Nynaeve is really wonderful.
Yeah.
And whatever they give her, I think she's going to play beautifully.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're going to have to write all of this in a very different way because Nynaeve has a very different relationship with One Power in the show.
Yeah, and maybe we're just at the point, like, because we haven't gotten to it yet, but Nynaeve's trials. Maybe after Nynaeve's trials, she's changed a little bit, and we just haven't seen it yet. That is a possibility as well.
Yeah.
Shadowling, thank you
for the super chat. Well, we've seen Logain, and it's after he's been gentled. No, that's a few chapters from now.
Yes, but it is in this section, so
that has not yet in this chapter.
Yeah, because we didn't see him gentled. We only saw him but we did see him shielded, kind of led into Caemlyn, right?
Rand sees him from afar.
Yeah, exactly.
But Egwene does run into him.
And they talk about him. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited to see what the actress Nynaeve gets to play with in season 2 because I do like her quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be very different. It's gonna be very different. So they get to Tarvalon. Mm-hmm. They have their lesson. Nynaeve really struggles to look at flowers in her brain. She just sees bramble bushes.
I'm a thorn bush.
I'm miserable. And then the Aes Sedai left again.
Oh yeah.
Egwene keeps waking up and being like, "Hey, can I find Moiraine? Can I find the ambulance seat?" And someone's always like, "Nah, they're gone.
They're gone." Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, I guess they don't care about us. And they get off the boat and they run into a character who I don't know if I love or hate yet, but it's going to be one of the two. And they run into Shariam Sadai, the mistress of novices.
I was like, who do you not know if you love or hate yet?
The deliverer of spankings.
The mistress of spankings.
The mistress of spankings. And she's like, all right, kids, let's go.
Yeah.
You're mine now. She's like the dark one for the White Tower, because she's like, you will be mine.
Yeah.
You will be in my office. I will spank you.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I like her yet either.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, she's cool, but also like, she's a little
okay.
spicy.
We're just over halfway through the reading, and we're an hour and a half in, so we need to pick up the pace a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Chapter 19. Selene convinces Rand to stay in the knife of the dagger, or whatever it's called, the dagger of the Kinslayer.
The mountains, whatever.
The dagger of the Kinslayer.
That's it.
To wait, because apparently by going through the Shadowland, they've ended up ahead of Pat and Fane.
Yeah.
And so if they just like chill, Pat and Fane will come to them.
Yeah, they felt like Kieran was smelling the future scent.
Yeah.
Which was cool. It was cool.
Really cool. Really cool. I like that they get ahead. Mm-hmm. I also like that Pat and Fane does show up. They camp. Rand and Loyal crawl into camp. They get the dagger, and the Great Hunt is over, y'all. Good book.
The Great Hunt
Good
is
book.
over.
This was a good book. I'm so glad we got to the end of the Great Hunt. We'll see you next week for book 3, The Dragon Reborn. Thank you so much for this. Goodbye.
Yeah, we've got the horn, so like we're Gucci, and we just had to crawl into somebody's camp, and it's all good. It was good.
But yeah, no. So they just take it.
They just take it.
It was so easy.
I know. I mean, look, Rand has to like kill a few drawlegs, but like.
Glenn Peterson, thank you for that super chat. Welcome to Robert Jordan's spanking fetish. It only gets worse from here. Wait, really?
Hot.
Is there a lot of spanking in the Wheel of Time?
That's hot. I like it.
Well, at least it's like our house.
Wow. You went there. All right.
So I wrote a few notes about this. Rand will die when he sees a naked woman. Lots of void talk, because this is where she's in his bag.
Yeah.
She's in his bag.
And she's like, I wanted to brush my
I needed a shirt, so I needed to brush my dress. She says, I needed to brush my dress. What the?
Is this some kind of weird, like, futuristic dry cleaning?
Is this like a thing that like was a thing in like the Middle Ages that we just don't have anymore, or is it like a British term? What the hell is brushing your dress?
I literally like don't know.
I was hoping you would be able to answer that. You'd be like, "You're an idiot, man. This is
no, I have never heard of like brushing your dress."
And Rand is like, "Oh yeah, you wanted to brush your dress. That makes sense."
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe like carpet beating. Wait, how does that clean her dress?
It gets dust out of it.
How dusty could her dress be?
I don't know. Honestly, guys, I am confused.
I thought it was a joke. I thought Rand was just like, oh yeah, sure, I don't understand.
the brushing your dress is not actually a thing, and Selene knows it's not a thing, and Rand was like, oh yeah, sure, of course. But then Egwene, he's like, oh yes, Egwene would be very upset if her dress got a spot. I don't know.
But so Selene is like, you can watch me take my clothes off, and Rand's like, no, I won't do that.
Nope.
And then he sees her thighs, and we get a long paragraph about the many times Rand has seen women's thighs before, and not many times. Mm-hmm. So. Okay,
apparently it might be like a lint brush.
There's things called lint brushes to get access. Yeah, we have lint brushes now. Did they have lint brush?
Like, do they have tape?
Why would she have a lint brush? Do you think that she got trapped in the mirror dimension with nothing but a lint brush? It's the one thing she brought with her?
Rand is a thigh guy.
Yeah,
100%. That's true.
And so yeah, they get the horn. Selene is using her body to convince Rand.
Selene's like, let me see it.
And Rand, in the process of this, Rand touches the dagger.
Oh, yes.
He says he touches it quickly to put it in his belt, but he does touch it. They later move it into the chest with the horn. Also, the chest for the horn is so big that Loyal has to carry it.
Like, put it on a horse.
And I didn't catch that at the end of the last book. But
no, me neither. I didn't realize it was so large.
The chest in the show is small enough for Pat and Fane to tuck it under his arm, just walk away with it.
Yeah. He just jumps out a window holding it.
What do you think the consequences of Rand touching the dagger are going to be? Kevin, thank you for that super chat.
Kevin, thank you so much. Velvet dresses were brushed to get the dust and dirt out of them.
Interesting.
Okay. So there has to be some kind of brush that I've just never... I don't know. But
you don't have any velvet dresses?
I have some velour dresses.
That's not velvet. They're literally a different thing.
They're very similar. They feel very similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
The horn of Valyr is a tuba.
Basically. Yeah.
It's a sousaphone.
Look, there is definitely going to be a consequence for Rand touching the dagger. I have zero clue as to what that might be. Unless he gets, like, bonded to Matt in a closer way.
Hot.
I
don't know. I would be interested if the
Matt definitely swings.
If the taint of the Dark One and the taint of the dagger like fought in Rand, and he had like the taint of Shadar Logoth and the taint of the Dark One, double taint.
Battle of the Taints.
And in this sequence, Rand, as they're leaving the camp that they steal the dagger from, Rand mentions to Loial that he's going mad. Yeah. He says it out loud for the first time to someone else. He's been thinking it, but he says to Loial, "I think I'm going mad." And Loyal's like, what are you talking about? We have to go.
Yeah, he's like,
now isn't the time, dude.
Yeah,
I'm usually about talking, but this is not the place.
Yeah.
Selene, they get the chest back, and Rand's like, I don't know how to open it, and Selene's like, got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know how to open this. Suspicious.
She's suspicious.
The Shadowling, thank you so much for the super chat. Rand has a serious case of thinking with his lower brain for these chapters. Yeah, no, he's
20-year-old and has a V card in the books. It's true.
Yeah, he has no idea.
I cannot relate
what's going on.
I can't relate to that. Like,
yeah,
I grew up in a. I can't relate to being.
Grew up in Calgary.
Well, no, but like one of the weird things about like the growing up with the internet is that like by the time I was like 13, I'd seen so much porn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you just could.
Well, but not even like because I could, but just because it became like a funny thing to do. Right?
Yeah,
like people
I
like so. I remember I grew up when the internet first, I remember every step of the internet, dial up, high speed.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember back in the day when you would like send someone an image, it would be a joke. Like you'd send someone an image because images, for those of you who are young and don't remember the beginnings of the internet, images used to load from the top down.
Yeah,
you would literally watch an image load.
Yeah.
And you would send someone an image where it would be like, oh, it's like a hot naked lady. And then like the bottom of the image would be something awful.
Yeah.
Like her like peeing on somebody. And the joke would be that like someone would watch it load and think that you sent them something hot. And then it's like, oh no, it's awful. Why would you send this to me, right?
Yeah.
And then
the good old days.
LimeWire came about. And the thing on LimeWire was that you would download movies, and if you downloaded them, it would be like Jurassic Park. You're like, oh, I want to see Jurassic Park, and you would literally download a movie, and you would open it, and it's not Jurassic Park. It's something awful. And so like I can't relate to that, like being 20 years old in like college age.
Yeah.
And being like thighs.
Yeah, literally, it's such a. Yeah,
do I remember punch cards? I do remember punch cards.
It's such a weird thing for us, right? Because we have grown up in our current day and age. That is a lot less relatable for us.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I'm a pervert, so it's like... I'm as far away from Rand as possible.
Yeah.
Well, and I also grew up in the dance world where like I was just around naked women all the time. You've seen me around naked women all the time for like work and stuff, for acting and being backstage and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
you're just like okay,
you
whatever.
Helped each other change because like there was a show to do, and it didn't matter. And
I don't know.
Yeah. It's just interesting.
So we get a little bit of Pat and Fane's point of view at the end of this chapter.
Right, because he gets mad. He knows when the dagger has been taken. Mm-hmm. Like a few seconds after they like get away with it, he wakes up, alerts everybody in the camp, and so Rand has to use his sword a little bit.
So we get the POV at the end of Pat and Fane, and I think that there's a couple things I want to talk about here.
Yeah.
And Pat and Fane says that of the Dark One's gift remained, right? When he's talking about his ability to feel Rand.
Yes.
And it seems like he's lost some of his Dark One's gifts.
I think he's been able to like gain a semblance of control over aspects of it.
And I think that it's the taint of Shadar Logoth has overcome the taint of the Dark One in Pat and Fane. right?
Yeah.
And that's what this means to me. But my question to you is, if Padan Fain is no longer fully in the Dark One's camp, who's he taking the horn to?
Do you think he's...
Because it felt like he was stealing the horn for the Dark One before. But now that it seems like Padan Fain is no longer fully on the team of the Dark One, it seems like the taint of Shadar Logoth has really changed him. Where is he taking the horn? Like, what is Padan Fain's goal here?
Maybe he's gonna, like, take it to, like, a castle and, like, set up shop and, like, create his own army. Like, he's gonna become Saruman.
It's a taint off. Padan Fain as Saruman? Okay, that's dope. I'm super into that.
That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting.
Especially considering the actor they have playing Padan Fain in the show.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see him get to have, like, his Saruman moment.
Yeah, that's kind of what he feels like to me personally. Because, I don't think he's taking it to the Dark One. Honestly, that would seem very strange.
So, the next chapter, we're still with Rand and company as they are headed towards I'm never going to pronounce this right. Because Rand is like, we should go take this to Ingtar, and Selene is like, no, we should not go that way because that would be very bad. They're going to be after us. We need to keep running. And I think she's right here. I think that, like, trying to double back to Ingtar versus heading in the opposite direction of Padan Fain is the wrong call.
Well, and, like, we know that Padan Fain can literally find Rand no matter what.
And Rand seems to know that. Rand says, Padan Fain seems to be able to find me. AP said, thank you for that super chat. Fain's sigil should be scissors, dueling taints.
I love it.
Oh, wow. This show is rated M for mature.
No, here's the thing. I think Selene knows that they will get caught if they go back that way. And...
yeah, and I think she's right. This is one of those times where, like, I don't think she's manipulating Rand in the wrong way.
Well...
but it also is more evidence to me that Selene and Padan Fain aren't on the same team.
Exactly.
And I'm 100% sure that Selene is for the Dark One.
Yes.
So who's Padan Fain for?
Yes, he is for himself. Definitely.
Selene, I wrote, Selene is selling Rand hard on Destiny.
Yeah.
And she says something here I want to talk about, because there's a concept here that she brings up that I really love. And she says that you can either choose to embrace destiny and be in control, or you can have destiny forced upon you and be controlled.
Yeah.
And I love this idea, because I actually really agree with it, right? I think that there is an element of fighting against destiny that allows other people to be in the driving seat of your life. Whereas if you choose to lean into it, if you are destined for something and you lean into it, you are able to control the way you go through that more than if you try and lean away from it and allow other people to decide what happens with it. And I think that Selene, while manipulating Rand in a way that I think is for evil, I think that she is teaching him a lesson that is going to benefit him in the future. In that, if you're going to be the Dragon Reborn, be the Dragon Reborn, lean into it, take charge of your life, or else the White Tower, the Dark One, all these people are going to be able to manipulate you more because you're fighting against it and you're leaning away from it. And other people are going to control the narrative. It really is more about the narrative of it than it is the actual, like, events of it. That's, you can never really fully control.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially because the wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
Right, but, like, if you want to control the narrative, and I think that this is true in real life, if you want to control the narrative of something, you have to get out ahead of it. Otherwise, everybody else gets to decide what is believed.
It's interesting because, like, when I read that, I kind of dismissed it. I was like, no, because it doesn't matter if you end up in the same place either way. But, like, but you're kind of right. And that's the thing, is the outcome itself may not be different. But how you get there a lot of the times is, like, just as important.
And what your mindset is when you show up.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about life, y'all. If I can impart one bit of wisdom onto everyone, because I have messed this up numerous times in my life. Choose your mindset going into a situation. Because if you just show up and hope you figure it out, and you don't have a good mindset going in, you're not going to have a good experience. And I have been that guy. I have messed up relationships. I've messed up work opportunities because I did not have the right mindset going in. And the most valuable thing you can do is be in charge of that. Be in charge of yourself. Be fully in charge of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a little bit of what Selene's trying to impart on Rand here. And he's fighting against it because he doesn't want to be in charge of himself. But
well, no, Rand is so focused on fighting against anything that he thinks someone might be putting onto him. He's like, I will not be used. and the funniest part is that he is actually giving up more control and like onus by doing the opposite of what everyone wants him to do.
100%.
And it does. It makes him more easily manipulated.
Yeah, 100%.
And we're definitely seeing that as a trend. Like, we see it very clearly with Nynaeve.
Yeah, yeah.
Very clearly. But also, I
She's
think
in the same
with
boat.
Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm glad that you brought that up, because that one I honestly kind of dismissed and was like, eh. But how you explain it makes a lot of sense. And I think that's that like control, I think, and free will is going to be a big theme throughout these books.
Dakuna Armad says, I feels like Selene is pushing the wrong kind of power on Rand, though. I agree with that. I say, Selene is doing it for the wrong reasons, but the lessons that you can pull from what she's saying are still there, whether she's right, or rather her end goal is right or not.
Yeah.
There is a lesson in how you show up to a situation that I think she's correct about, even though I think she wants him to use it for the wrong reason.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. She's still Selene, but like, she's smart. She knows things.
So they come upon a statue that's poking out of the ground that reminded me of the end of Eternals. The hand coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
And it's holding an orb, and Rand goes full like prophecy. Can you go to page 310?
Yes, I can. Wow.
So you're right there. So Rand gets caught up in the glow of this orb, and he says this like prophecy thing while he is touched by Saidin.
Where is it? It might be one
I
more
got it.
page back.
Nope, it's 310. He says, till shade is gone, till water is gone, into the shadow with teeth bared, to spit in Sightblinder's eye on the last day.
Sightblinder, we know, is the dark one.
No, but not just the dark one. Sightblinder is specifically what the Aiel call the dark one.
Right.
So Rand is using Aiel language here in his prophecy.
Meaning to, yeah.
Rand is definitely Aiel.
Oh,
right?
I mean, yeah.
And I have a feeling Rand is like the son of the former princess of the Eye. It's gonna be like Rand is gonna be like Aiel royalty.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
But what do you like? Do you think like the final battle will happen at like the absolute like end of the earth when water is gone, or is till shade is gone till water is gone? Wait, till shade is gone till water is gone is the desert.
Yeah, that's the desert. Yeah.
Into the shadow with teeth bared to spit. What is the shadow?
Into the shadow. Perhaps that's the shadow realm. They have to fight the Dark One on a different plane.
Rand needs to return to the Aiel.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. Rand needs to return to the Aiel
100%.
in order to save the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this book so much.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
The amount that Robert Jordan gives us but doesn't like shove in your face. Like it's
because like this is something you could skim by and not think about. But like it really, this is so leaning so hard into the Aiel in this redheaded character who's like, I don't know who my dad is.
Yeah.
And so he like has all this power. He consumes all of this power out of this artifact.
It was. I am still very confused as to what exactly happened there.
Is he more powerful now? Did he just like level up?
Was the orb like one of the like?
What do you think? What do you think his dexterity is now?
His dexterity is at least 18.
He's gotta have high dexterity, right? He's not really a strength boy.
He's got that +4 for sure.
And like his charisma is like getting better, but it's still not great.
No, his charisma. People seem to love Rand.
I think that's the wheel. I don't think that's Rand. I think the Taviran of it all, but like Rand's charisma.
His charisma is at least +3.
He saw 2 thighs and he lost his shit.
Sure, but like sexual charisma different. But like if we're
I don't know.
D&D
Every bard
stats,
I've ever seen with high charisma is a horny piece of shit.
Well, I'm sure somebody has played a virgin bard. I'm sure somebody.
Oh my god, my next D&D character is a virgin bard for sure. The virgin bard. Oh my god, I'm writing that. I'm writing that book.
I love it.
And then they get to a little town.
+5 strength to the Heron Blade. No, see, it's not +5 strength. That's +5, like added to attack to hit.
No. That the Heron Blade is not a strength weapon. It is 1,000% a dexterity.
It's a versatile weapon, so you can either use your strength or your dexterity to wield it.
No,
and so
it's not 5. A strength weapon.
Well, he's also proficient in it, so he probably gets like +9. Right? He probably gets
it's not versatile. It is 100%. It's not it's not a blocking blade, right? It is 1,000% dexterity.
I'm by D&D rule books, okay.
They get to a town of short people. Town of remarkably short people.
Yes, a town of short people and an inn called the Nine Rings.
Next chapter, the Nine Rings. I call this chapter Meals and Deals. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. But so the town of short people and the Nine Rings. And Frodo of the Nine Fingers and the Ring of Doom.
Yeah.
Rand is dressed all fancy, so the lady's like, my lord.
My
lady.
My lord, my lady.
But I wrote, Rand is ill-equipped to play Lord, but he still rocks the flute.
I love that was like, I love that the captain of the guards was like, I'm so sorry that they enjoyed your music.
No, he's sorry that they sang along rowdily.
I mean, I figure like that's what you're supposed to do, but
the chapter in the Shire, 1,000% the chapter in the Shire.
Yeah. With the singing.
Yeah, this is the most Lord of the Rings reference this has gotten the whole time.
It's gotten pretty Lord of the
Rings. I wrote,
Rings.
the suspicious captain is 100% right to be suspicious.
Oh, yeah, he's suspicious, but here's the thing, he's probably not, like, a bad person, right?
Yeah, but he's like, hey, so what's your name? And Selene is like, I'm sick, I've got to go to bed.
Yay! I'm not feeling well.
I'm so sorry. And then she's gone. Selene is like, dips.
Out.
I left you a letter, I'm always with you in your heart, Rand.
And then we get the Game of Thrones reference, right? Yeah. They're like, oh, no, here, you play the Game of Thrones, and you win or you die.
Or you die.
Yeah, literally. I was like, okay, I see.
Yeah, I love that. I felt like this chapter was Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones mushed into Wheel of Time all of a sudden.
Yes, it was kind of fun, actually. I loved that.
Yes, they're very good at the Deus Damar here.
Yes.
Deus Damar also sounds like it could be from Dune, though.
Yep. Yes, it does.
I was playing Deus Damar with Baron Harkonnen. God. How do you think Selene got out without being seen by the guards?
Magic.
Okay. Cool.
What do you mean? Or she does have control over the Shadow Realm and she slipped out.
Jonas says Game of Thrones was written long after this book. You're right. This book comes out 6 years before the first Game of Thrones? Or 5 years before the first Game of Thrones?
Yeah. No, I know.
Wait, so Deus Damar, I think that Robert Jordan, because if you read our copy of the book, if you look at the back, guess who's on it?
George R. R. Martin.
His huge, ambitious Wheel of Time series helped redefine the genre. George R. R. Martin, internationally best-selling author of A Game of Thrones.
Yep. They knew.
I would like to point out that... Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. It is totally cribbed from Dune. Deus Damar is the Game of Houses. Definitely a Dune reference, right? It feels like a Dune reference.
Okay.
It feels 100% like a Dune reference. I'm so smart, you guys. Yeah. I'm just like big brain today. And by today, I mean 2 days ago when I read this on the plane. Rand, they wake up, Selene's gone, but they get back on the road. They're like ready to go out in the world again. And that's the end of the chapter. They're like, all right, we're going to Carine. To Carine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sean, thank you for the super duper chat.
I actually watched Lord of the Rings animation just because of Nerdy singing that song. It was an interesting experience, Sean. I apologize.
I'm so sorry.
I love that song so much, but it's not the best movie.
It's something.
It is something. But thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Everyone go watch the Lord of the Rings animated movies. They're very different from each other.
To Dennis, thank you so much for becoming a Narg 2.0.
Game of Thrones has a character named Trebor, Robert in reverse, Jourdain of the House of Tor. That... I know. That's so cute. I love that.
I didn't realize that.
That's very cool. I never caught that before because I didn't know who Robert Jordan was back then.
That's fair. Yeah. Thank you for resubscribing.
I can't wait for someone to put David Waeb in something as an honorific to me.
No,
or it's David Nerdy.
No, it's a David and your sigil is a spider. Spider web.
Nice.
Yeah, I got you.
Kyrian. Yeah. yeah. I'm definitely going to pronounce that right one day. All right, chapter 22. Guys, we have 3 chapters left. It's been an hour and 53 minutes.
Wait, there's one thing.
Let's go.
I love that the innkeeper was like, pardon my lord for saying so, but I was right. You should have knocked on your lady's door.
I did love that.
She's like, I told you so.
She was like, look, dude, you could have had sex last night and you didn't.
Yeah,
you
fucked up. No, that was fantastic.
I did appreciate that, yeah. And even before, she's like, my husband and I have been fighting for a long time. Mm-hmm. Just go knock.
Just go.
You'll be fine.
All right, so we get to more rain and we get to some like really interesting information.
There's too much in this chapter.
There is a lot.
And we're not going to talk about, we're going to miss stuff in this chapter. I'm so sorry to everyone in advance, just because like this was a lot. This chapter was like a lot of different things, and much like what was it, Van Deen? What was her name? They bounce. She's like, you're bouncing around from a lot of things. I was like, yeah, you guys are bouncing around from a lot of things right now.
She's like, I don't even really know what I'm looking for.
But it starts with a conversation with Lan, where she basically says, hey, Lan, I just wanted you to know I have set it up so that if I die, you're going to be someone else's warder. And he's like, the fuck?
Yeah, he's like, okay, so I'm...
He could have asked.
Yeah.
Lan is so rightfully upset here.
Yeah, it is so weird. Here's the thing. After I read this chapter, I was like, you know what? I like the bond in the show better than I do in the books. Because this feels really weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that you can, like, compel the person, is a lot of ick for me that I didn't like. And I felt bad. Like, I was, like, totally on Lan's side. I was like, yeah. This is gross. Does it chafe?
Well, and it's set up that, like, Moiraine knows that Moiraine seems to be hinting hard, and Lan doesn't pick up on it, that she's not compelling him. Like, it's she's setting it up for him to become Nynaeve's person.
Yeah, and like, why would anyone want to be a warder?
Well, honor and duty, and
you could go join an army for that.
Superpowers.
If you believe,
you believe in the mission of the Aes Sedai. And they need warders, like I would do it, you know what I mean? Like if I was living in this world and I was like, oh, I can do a lot of good,
but they can compel you. Here's the thing: there are so many ways to do good and so many like avenues for it.
100%. But like that's the weird thing about like relationship, right? Is like you and I can compel each other to do things. You know what I mean? Like there's a reality to relationship in that, and like this is an extreme form of that, but it's an extreme situation, and there is extreme power involved in this. And I think that Moiraine is in her way trying to do right by Lan, and I think that he's rightfully upset about what she's doing, and I get that. I'm not saying she's right, but I'm saying that like.
But here's the thing: no, we know that not all Aes Sedai are like great. You know what I mean? So these warders, like, why would they give up complete freedom and autonomy?
Because they believe in the mission. And if they didn't believe in the mission, they wouldn't do it.
I guess you get a cool cloak.
But like the mission of the Aes Sedai explicitly is to fight the Dark One, right? Yeah. And like the warders whose backstories we know tend to be pulled from like Steppen in the show. He was a drunk who was falling apart when he met I can't remember what her name was. Yes, you know what I mean? Like he was, and like Lan was a kingdomless man fighting a solo war in the Blight against the Dark. Like he believes in the mission above all else. And so he's willing to put up with the downsides of it for the mission. And like I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that that's the reality of it, is that if there's a fight between good and evil, and these are the most powerful people on the Light, and you get
Kareen,
you know what I mean? Like Kareen, thank you. I think that there really is. I think that that's it. I think that Lan is such a person of duty. And honestly, this chapter, when people complain about the emotionality of Lan in the episode 5 of the show, and they're like, that's not like Lan in the books. I look at this chapter, reading Lan in this chapter, and I'm like, that is 100% Lan.
Yeah.
Lan is very emotional in this chapter.
Yeah.
He's angry, and he's free with his words in a way that he isn't a lot in book 1.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's a lot of that episode 5 Lan in this chapter, in a way that I'm kind of surprised there is as much pushback on that chapter, on that episode now, having read this.
Yeah. yeah, and Moiraine talks about like, oh, his walls are kind of down, like he's off his footing, and like using that like against him. But yeah, he's still an emotional person. He's just learned like semblance of control, of like really good control over himself, and that's probably what makes him a great warrior as well. But he's like, God, I felt so bad for him because I understood what Moiraine was trying to do, right? And I do truly believe that like Moiraine has his best interests at heart for these moments, but also like it's so uncomfy.
Sure, and I wrote this note. I was like, Lan is rightfully upset about her decisions, but Moiraine knows he's destined for Nynaeve, and even says like Nynaeve has placed bridal flowers in his hair, right? Like that's like Moiraine. Moiraine sees that the relationship is so far beyond what can be contained for her goals, and she says like, I wonder how long it's going to be before he asks me to release him. Yeah, and she knows, like she's very aware, and I think that she's just setting the stage for that. Yeah. So Lan leaves, upset, rightfully so, which does have consequences later when the Dementor shows up. We'll talk about that. Well,
yeah, literally.
Vendine shows up and has answers that aren't answers, and she answers all these questions, and Moiraine is like, something you said in their answer to question, but I don't know what it was. I was like, great, I don't either.
Well, and I tried to figure it out, because like it's obviously a hint that there's something in there that's going to come into play later, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and I was mad about it. It's like, I don't know what in this chunk was actually the hint that's not a hint. I don't know.
But we get this tidbit that's very important, I think, moving forward, which is that Rand will announce himself in Tom in Hand. I just wrote TH. It's either Hill or Hand, I can't remember. The place that Fane said to meet him, right?
Oh, yeah,
so the
prophecies,
Tom and Head.
So that's it.
Rand will announce himself there, according to Vendine, and will do it before the Watchers on the Waves. Do you think the Watchers on the Waves are the post-credit scene people from the boat people?
Yeah, the Watchers on the Waves.
It feels like it's going to be the boat people.
Because here's the thing. The boat people to show up at the end of like season 1 kind of have to have at least been like mentioned at this point in the book. And so I feel like it has to be them, right? CJ Clark, thank you for the super chat.
CJ, George R. R. Martin was friends with Robert Jordan and the original choice to finish the series after Robert Jordan passed away. Kind of. I was watching a Brandon Sanderson interview where he was talking about that, and he was like, yeah, they wanted George R. R. Martin to write it, but then, I can't remember how he worded it. He was like, his wife realized that he was never going to finish Game of Thrones and didn't want to give him more to do.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, fair. I'm still waiting for the end of Game of Thrones, George. I'm still waiting. I've been waiting for years.
Do you think the Watchers on the Waves are the same people? Are Arthur Hawkwing's descendants? Do you think that's the same people?
Those are the people returning, are Arthur Hawkwing's descendants that he sent away, right? So I think they are the same people. I think the Watchers on the Waves, Arthur Hawkwing's descendants, and the people we saw in the post-credit scene, I think all three of those things, same people.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
All right. What else? So Moiraine kind of gets answers, but not really. No. And then she goes outside, and a Drakkar is there.
A Dementor.
And it can suck your soul out. And I was like...
It gives you a kiss.
Hey, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Where did you get that idea from?
I wonder.
Did you read Wheel of Time?
Yeah. I think you might have.
So Moiraine is like, well, I'm dead.
Well, that was the thing that was so, like, wild to me, is I was like, she did not, like, it got so close that she did not have the time to react, and it is powerful enough that once it's got you, it's kind of got you. And unless you get help, you're done.
Bisdee says Brandon Sanderson is going to end up finishing A Song of Ice and Fire as well. Mark my words. I'm there for it. If anyone can figure out how to finish that series, good luck.
Yes,
if you haven't read Dance with Dragons, you don't know how difficult it could possibly be to finish. Like, if you've seen the show...
Oh, he's literally said he's written himself into a corner. Oh, yeah, he's like, I don't know if I can finish this.
But we're over 2 hours, and we have 3 chapters left. Yeah. Or 2 chapters left, so let's keep going.
No, it's 3 chapters.
Drakkar.
Oh, Drakkar. Yeah, it's literally a Dementor. And they're like, how did it get so close once
Black Asha.
Yeah, Black Asha.
Lan shows up and he's like, if you hadn't made me so mad, I would have been here to save you. And I was like, yeah, Moiraine.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop being so mean.
Or would it not have been taken by surprise? Like, would the Drakkar be able to have then had both in its power? I don't know.
I think that Lan can sink his sword faster than Moiraine can channel the power, is the point.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like, Moiraine has to connect and then bleh, whereas Lan just goes, waching, wakakatao, fatafatapidio.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Lan is also, like, head on a swivel. He would have seen it coming, whereas Moiraine's so distracted by all the jumbled thoughts, where she's like, oh my god,
Black Aja.
Vampire.
Black Aja exists. We know this for a fact.
And Moiraine is like, oh yeah, the Black Aja. God. She's so casual about it, too. She's like, yeah, those Black Aja.
Darn those Black Aja. I was like, okay.
Oh, the Old Order as well. I love that Lan says, you made me so mad I had to go do drills with him, and then so mad that I had to stop.
Yay. Oh man, yeah, that was terrifying. Cause when when the Drakkar was like flying around in book 1, I was like, okay, it's kind of like a little like dragon thingy. You know, it's probably like a good like fighter. It having these like other soul sucking powers is kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
Right.
That Gluck 9000.
Moving on to the next chapter, I think is the one y'all been waiting for.
All right. This chapter, we could talk about this chapter for 3 hours.
Yeah, this is literally torturing Nynaeve.
This chapter is nuts. It's crazy. Nynaeve goes through the Triwizard Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The
Triwizard... No.
No?
No, very different.
I mean, I guess the maze is at the beginning and not at the end, but... So Nynaeve is already accepted. All she has to do is face her fears, which is always my favorite thing in like fantasy when they're like, you must face your deepest fears.
Yeah, and you're like,
because usually it doesn't actually get at your deepest fears. This time, Robert Jordan,
I think he did good.
He cures Nynaeve pretty good here. This character that he set up.
It's the Bogart thing. It's not like a Triwizard Tournament.
She just needed to say ridiculous, and it would have been fine.
Ridiculous.
I always growing up I was like ridiculous because of the K.
Oh.
And then when they said it in the movie, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like, all right.
Ridiculous. So I wrote I called this chapter a Nynaeve Carol. Because she has to go through 3 trials: what was, what is, and what will be. And my first note was Nin jumps the line and does the accepted test.
Jumps
for 3 fears.
Yeah.
The first test. What was? She has to go through this arch that they're like, we don't really know how it works, but like we're just gonna send you in there. Don't worry about it.
That was insane. First of all, you have to get naked and then go and then walk through this thing that like we kind of get what happened, but like not. And like, we find out after she gets back from the first one and channels. That it's
because she's straight up shooting lightning at Agenor. Her and Agenor have a full on like
battle,
like Dumbledore, Voldemort in the department or in the Ministry of Magic fight with lightning and shit.
Yeah,
and then she gets back, and the one's like, "You channeled? You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Then tell her that.
Yeah,
you didn't say not to channel.
I know. I was like, what? What do you mean? You sent Aja into these things who came out completely burnt out of their power, and you didn't think to say, hey, maybe don't channel because
we just figured you wouldn't.
Yeah,
what?
Like
what kind of preparation is this?
Terrible test. Test. Yeah. But like her like face of like surprise, like you channeled and like you came back out and like you're okay was wild. But yeah, they literally have like a full on like
but they also
Marvel movie fight.
But they also have this like they keep being like the doorway back will only open once, and I'm like, how do you know that? You don't know what's going on. You don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Like you literally say, we don't really know how this works, but it only happens once. I don't know that I believe you.
Yeah, because the person who missed the door, like the people who don't come back, like, yeah, because here's the thing. If you see the door the first time you see it, and then you take it, how do you know it doesn't appear again?
Yeah.
Or
what if it appeared once, you didn't see it, and so it appeared again? And you just didn't see the first time it appeared.
And here's
because you're in a maze.
It appears again for Nynaeve.
No, it doesn't. We'll get to that. That's the 3rd time. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it. It doesn't appear again. We'll get to that. She channels a lot. She throws lightning. But she makes it back, and she's like, damn, that sucked. Agenor. Woof. And then they're like, this is the test of what is. So she goes back to Emmons Field.
Yeah.
Some evil wisdom is torturing everybody, making kids sick. It's pretty awful, killing men. Do you think that this is actually what is, or is this just what Nynaeve's fear of what is?
I think it's the fear of what is. I don't think that's actually happening back then.
Okay.
Yeah. It's your deepest fear. It's, you know, Nynaeve has probably gone into that, like, spiral, that, like, doom scroll in her brain of being like, okay, but what if this happened, and then this happened, and then, like, this could happen, and maybe that, like,
The worst version of her not being there to be the wisdom.
Exactly. The absolute worst version, which, like, was so horrifying.
Yeah.
It, like, truly, I felt so bad for her. Honestly, I think that the, like, second one was, like, rougher than the third one personally.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
For, like, it just seems so real. And
because
like,
the fear of what will be will never be as bad as the fear of what is.
Yeah.
Because it's always a possibility, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the fear of what is a fear of, like, is a fear of decisions. The problem with the fear of what is, particularly in this, is that it is a fear of the negative consequences of decisions you've already made, things that you can't take back. Whereas the fear of what will be is always about something that you maybe have the chance to change.
Yeah.
And so this is definitely the roughest of the three by far.
I think so, for sure.
And she walks away from it in, like, this horrific moment where Marin, I think her name is just screaming for help, and she has to turn her back on it.
I know.
And it's Mavra Malin. It's really incredible. Like, the way this whole sequence is written. The second part, the middle chunk of this is the best part of this chapter to me, because it is the hardest pull on Nynaeve, because it pulls on the place that she loves, her feeling of duty, the only place where I feel like she's really felt centered and secure, because she doesn't in the Aes Sedai Tower, but she's turning around into it anyway. Really, really wonderful stuff.
Yeah. And like you said, I think Robert Jordan is one of the few people who really nailed the, like, this is your deepest fear kind of thing, because it's a trope. It's been done before, and most of the time I'm like, is that real? Okay, sure. But this one I was like, oh yeah, yikes, that's a big yikes.
Well, and it's fun, right? Because, like, the thing that was so fun about the Bogart is when Lupin pulls Harry away, and he's like, I don't know what your deepest fear is going to be, and so I didn't want to subject the class to that, because you've seen real shit. And like, Nynaeve has seen real shit, and like, so her deepest fears, all three of them are pretty awful.
Yeah.
Even the third one, which we're going to do, which is what will be, which is Lan is her husband and they have kids together, which I think will be. Like, I genuinely believe they're going to end up together.
Yeah, I think so.
And she has to walk away from that. And obviously, she doesn't, because she's going to be her warder, and it's going to be fine, right? Because the Green Ajas can marry their warders. And so I really do think Nynaeve will end up being a Green, because she's a battle Aja, right? Like, if I originally said yellow because I was like, oh, she's a healer. But then now that I'm learning more, I'm like, no. Nynaeve is going to be green.
She's a fighter. She's so angry and so emotional and, like, powerful. She's 100% a Green Aja.
Yeah.
I believe that.
And so Lan is like, stay with me. And she's like, I can't. And then but the pull is so strong, she misses the door.
Yeah.
And she's like, God damn it, Lan.
Yeah, and so then she just channels and gets it back.
But she builds the bramble bush in her brain.
Yeah.
And she has a little flower on the tip of it, so she's able to channel because of the little flower.
I know.
And then she forces the door back into existence.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come back.
Yeah.
She forces it into existence by channeling the one power in the place where they just told her, do not channel in there, we don't know what will happen. And then she, like, confidently strolls through that door, only to have two giant thorns pierce all the way through her hands.
Like, and they're like, oh, that's not supposed to scar. When they, like, take it out.
Oh, Nynaeve is Jesus.
Nynaeve is Jesus confirmed.
Nynaeve is Jesus confirmed.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
This was dope. I love this. And also the fact that, like, in between she gets washed between each door.
Yeah.
And then in the third one, the Amerlin seed is there to wash her. And this was the first time where I was like, oh, cool. Like, there is, like, this tradition is very cool for the Aes Sedai and for the sisterhood of it. It
means a lot. Yeah.
And that there's a bunch of people there, one from each color, and the Amerlin seed is there to welcome her into Aes Sedai-ness. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't believe that's the test. It sucks.
Yeah. What a nightmare.
Okay, so what would be your three fears? Past, present, and future. I
don't know. And that's why these things are so unbelievable to me when, like, I read them. Because I'm like, okay, well, what would mine be? And I'm like, I don't know. I literally, like, I don't know. People don't like me. That's literally it. Like, I really, like, could not tell you.
How do you compare the three tests here to the temptation that the Dark One tempts Rand with in season 1? It is. I do think that there's a lot of that. The Ishamael scene with Rand in Emmons Field and the land scene in this are very similar to me.
Yeah.
And I think they took a lot of inspiration there.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Wheel of Time
I don't know
project.
if we'll get to see the like Tangreal like.
Also, y'all, if you want to watch a fan edit of the Wheel of Time show into a movie, Wheel of Time fan edit project launched it yesterday on their YouTube. So go check that out. We haven't had a chance yet because we were getting back from our honeymoon, but we're very excited to watch it. So yeah, definitely go check them out. Orchid, thank you for that super chat. Did you notice the parallel between the warning to be steadfast and show Nynaeve whispering to Egwene be strong before pushing on the river? I didn't.
I did not notice that one. Yeah.
But that is interesting. I wish they'd said be steadfast. I like that. Be steadfast. I like long words. I like more letters.
Yeah, that. Oh God, I don't know if I would survive being. Rockmage Clark's hair all falls out. Yeah. If I went bald, that'd be pretty.
You'd be hot bald though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just really like my hair. I always wanted long hair, and now that I have it, it would hurt me if it went away.
So we made it to the final chapter.
Yeah.
Egwene is like, Nynaeve saw some shit. She's a different person. I love that that's how the chapter starts. She's like,
so
they
Nynaeve,
done did something to Nynaeve.
Yeah.
They done did her dirty.
She knows.
And then I like to call this chapter Egwene meets everyone Rand met.
Literally, like Egwene like walks into her room and Elaine is there, and Elaine is like, "Oh, you know Rand? Let's go meet this person who knows Rand, and also this person who knows Rand."
But literally, Elaine takes her to meet Logain, Min, Gawain, Galad, and Aleda, and also says she's going to take her to meet Elsa.
Yeah.
The farm girl is there too. Like, it's so funny. Also, Egwene is so hot for Galad. Like.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Egwene meets
funny.
Galad, and it's like, I need to go change my panties. I'm so sorry. Like,
and
things are moist.
And he's so smooth. He's like, I would like to, like, meet you later.
Do you think Galad will end up being her warder?
Her warder?
Because Elaine is gonna be queen, right? So Galad needs something to do. Do you think Galahad ends up being Egwene's warder?
I just want to say, Johnny Run, thank you so much. We had a fun time. Just a congrats on our home.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
We got married a year and a half ago, but we finally were able to travel. So we
all that fun stuff. I don't know, because I don't know how Galad feels about Aes Sedai and warders and all.
Well, he's there to train with them.
Yes, because it's like custom and tradition.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if he becomes a full warder. Like, that's fun. I like the idea. I just
think that, like, what I think is so interesting about Galad is that he walks away, and then Elaine and Gawain are like, oh my god, he's so like duty bound.
Yeah.
And like, that just is what warders are to me, right? Like, they seem to be a group of people who believe in duty. So if someone is going to become a warder, it seems like he is the right kind of person for that.
Yeah, maybe like Galad and Egwene get to know one another, and he believes that, like,
well, they're gonna go on a picnic, so
yeah. Well, and if she's allowed out, because she's a novice, she's a noob. He's like, he's so hot, he's so smooth, but it is interesting. I think that it's possible. Because maybe the Aes Sedai literally like fall apart, and Egwene, maybe he sees things in Egwene.
Henry Cavill for Galad. I feel like he's a little too old. I agree. I think he's a little too old.
But he's still so hot.
You know who Henry Cavill should be if he's gonna be in this? Gareth Bryan.
The captain of the guard.
No, he's maybe too young for that.
Yeah, he's
because he was supposed to serve the person before, right?
Yeah, he's definitely older.
Who could Henry Cavill play?
Henry Cavill.
I would have said Henry Cavill would be a great Logain, but
yeah, and I also don't think Logain is going to be much more in the.
I disagree. I think Logain is a very important character.
Huh.
I do. I think that Logain and Rand are going to have a relationship.
You know what?
Logain is going to be the one who's going to teach Rand how to channel.
Logain is?
Logain is going to teach Rand how to channel. Because he's a man who knows how to do it. Who figured it out, right? And is, like, massively powerful. I think that Logain will become Rand's, like, Obi-Wan in a way.
Yeah.
Because it would make sense. Because they've said, like, Rand needs someone to teach him how to channel.
Yes, because
Logain is a perfectly... That would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill for Ingtar.
I was going to say ship captain, but...
Bail Dolman! Oh my god, I would love that too much.
Yeah.
If he was just, like, with an eye patch and he's just being all Henry Cavill on a boat.
Yeah.
I just want to see Henry Cavill on a boat.
Yeah, I'm down for that. That would be fun.
Or Henry Cavill as the Dark One. And he gets his, like, villain turn.
That's fun. Spicy. I like it. Yeah. it.
Yeah, no, I think Logain is going to end up teaching Rand how to channel.
Interesting. I wonder if the Aes Sedai would like trust him in that, or maybe
I don't think they do. I think they they let him go, right? Like, what are they gonna? They're not gonna keep him prisoner forever.
Yeah.
He can't do anything anymore. Like, one of the Forsaken was in response to who Henry Cavill could play. That would be fun. I would love to see him. I want to see Henry Cavill get to play a villain. Because he's such a good hero.
Yeah.
And like different kinds of heroes, right? Like he's so good as Superman and he's so good as Geralt, who are two very different forms of hero.
Yeah.
I would love to see Henry Cavill get to have his like villain turn.
That would be so fun.
I guess he kind of got one in Mission Impossible Fallout, but sorry, that's a spoiler for that movie. Oops. I know. All right. So I wrote Rand's influence is felt everywhere he goes. I love that in this. Elaine is like, is he Taviran? Because he seems to like mess up. Like everyone seems
straight up messages it. Like, oh yeah,
He, do you know if he's Taviran or not? Like, it seems like he's Taviran, right?
Yeah. And Egwene's like, don't say anything. They can't know. Like,
and then they run into Min.
Elias.
No, he's not. Like, he's not shaggy enough.
Yeah.
He's a little too clean cut.
That jawline though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Henry has apparently read Wheel of Time. Matthew, thank you for that super chat, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I'm not
Henry
surprised.
Cavill's a big ol' nerd.
But thank you.
Henry Cavill's going to be a guest on next week's episode of this show, so definitely tune in.
I wish.
That's a lie.
I would die.
You would not die. You would be great.
I love him.
I know. You can leave me for him one day. So yeah, Rand's influence like really changes everyone he meets, and like they I love that they brought that up. I love that Taviran is more than just like a title. It's like a real thing that you're feeling in the books as you read them.
Yeah. It makes it so much more real and realistic, and I appreciate that for sure.
So we're back with Min, and we talked about it earlier, but Min reveals that she's been brought here by Moiraine.
Yeah.
Or no, she reveals that she's brought here. Leda later brings up that Moiraine is the one that brought her here.
Right.
And she's like, how did you know that Moiraine brought me here? That's weird.
Yeah.
And Min is like, when I see you, I see the white flame to Egwene. So maybe Emmeline seat future for Egwene.
I mean, that's literally what it read to me as, but maybe I am way off.
But we also get the reveal that Elaine is going to have to share Rand with two others.
Yeah, Rand's gonna have this weird harem going on.
Hot.
Which, like, all right, but I love that she's like, Elaine is like, yeah, right, never.
I'm not gonna share him. He's gonna be mine.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the chapter, we get Min's point of view in her after her conversation with Aleda, where Aleda is like questioning her about Rand, and Min is like, I don't want to fall in love with him. Like she says that about Rand.
Yeah.
And I think that she looks at Rand and she's like, God damn it, I'm gonna fall in love with this man.
Yeah, she's like,
and she doesn't want to, and I love it. I wish this story was from her perspective, because I would actually love a story about a woman who like sees a man and like the universe tells her that she's going to marry him one day, and her perspective on it is, God damn it, I don't want that. I really don't. Like,
yeah.
It's such a funny idea.
Can we get a little novella like spin-off? That would be great for me.
Robert Power says White Flame is what she sees in the show version as well. Yeah. I understand that, but the show didn't do a good job of setting up what the White Flame was, so it didn't mean anything to me. Yeah. Whereas the books have done such a good job setting up what the White Flame means that it is different.
Yeah.
The perspective, and this is the problem I have with the show in some ways, right? Where like the Horn of Valyr shows up in the show, and you're like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And so when that character's like, it's the horn of bloody Valir, I'm like, cool, dude, you've never mentioned this before. Why would I know that? Whereas in the books, the horn of Valir is brought up throughout the entire first book. So when the horn shows up, you're like, oh my god, it's the horn. Everyone's looking for the horn. There's a whole thing in Ilion about the horn.
Exactly.
And I think that foreshadowing is important in writing.
Yep.
And I think that the book, I think the show does a lot of things well. I don't think foreshadowing is one of them. Whereas I think the books have done such an incredible job foreshadowing things so that when they come up later, they hit that nostalgia right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And Robert Jordan is just a master at it. Like it's so good.
And that's where we're at. Like Robert Jordan is a master writer. This book is we're halfway through it, and like this book is better than the first one. And I'm, it's nice, right? It's nice to see this growing and this like expanding world.
Yeah.
The Shadowlands was a big jump for me. I was like, oh my god, okay, we're going there, but we're going there, and I liked it. It ended up being really good, and so I'm excited to see where we're going from here.
Yeah, so am I.
Shall we do our high-low?
Yeah, or do you want to do Smut Corner first?
Should we Smut Corner it first? All right, what's your Smut Corner for this week?
I feel like the obvious Smut Corner is like literally Rand in the middle of a triangle. Like
when?
No, I mean like this like foreshadowing prediction.
Oh, that like, Rand is going to be... Well, it's not really a triangle. It's like a... Oh, I guess they're the triangle. He's in the
center of a triangle. No, that's not... I guess it would be like... Yeah, I don't know. But there's lots of corners, is the point.
More curves. More curves than corners.
For a shape? All right, fine.
I'm just saying they've got...
Yeah. I got figures. I got it.
No. Where would you add a sex scene into the... What we got? Because the obvious one is Selene and Rand...
No, mine is that oh god. So Nynaeve and Swan start like battling it out on the ship and like force holding one another, and then they're like, oh wait, like this is hot. And then they like they just like
the best part about this is they just start going at it on the bed and poor Egwene is stuck and she can't move. She just desperately wants to not watch, but she has to.
Hey, people have like makeup sex all the time. You know what I mean? Like they fight and they're angry about it.
And hate sex. Hate sex is a thing.
Hate sex is a thing, right? And so I that's my Smut Corner is that Swan and Nynaeve.
While Egwene is just forced to watch. Wow, that's dark. That's like that might be the darkest Smut Corner we've had yet.
No, they let Egwene go. Egwene doesn't have to watch unless she's like into it and is like, wait, can I stay? You know?
Yeah.
But that's my Smut Corner. I'm into it, especially like, and also in the show as well. Like I'm like, yeah. What? Come on.
I just don't think that Swan would cheat on Moiraine.
Well, they're not dating in the book that we know of.
Yeah, that's fair.
That we know
That's
of.
fair.
It is
Where would I add a sex scene? That's tough. This one's tough because everyone's kind of like like separate.
Also, here's the thing: like Swan and Moiraine like hardly ever see each other, so I feel like when you have a relationship like that, you kind of got to be open.
Yeah, they've got to be open. That's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is, air can make many things.
Air dildos. That makes sense.
Y'all are disgusting.
Oh, please. We are disgusting.
We are disgusting, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's Rand and Selene, right? Like, in...
Oh, there's so many, like, moments.
And Loyal's just there to document it for the history books. Like, Loyal's like... And Huron's like, Lord, I'm gonna not look, but he's, like, looking, you know what I mean? He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And Rand and Selene just going at it. Rand has a sex dream with Baalzamon. You know what? The like enemies to lovers trope, but it's Rand and Baalzamon. I'm into that. I'm into that.
That's so wild.
A Trolloc dark friend mass orgy as Rand and Loyal grab the horn. The reason, because here's the thing.
The reason they can sneak in is
because there's an orgy going on.
Yeah.
Here's my question about that scene. Is like, why do they have no security?
Oh yeah, there's like the one that like keeps watch, but is not keeping watch, and then goes to fall asleep. He literally like goes and like takes a nap. It's like, I'm good.
High-low.
High-low, okay.
The way we do this, so for those of you who don't know, think of it while I say this. My dinner table with my family, we would always do high-low of the day so that we could celebrate each other's victories and commiserate about the tough parts of our lives. It just brought us together as a family. And so the way that we do this is she does her high, I do my low, she does her low, and then I do my high so that we can bookmark it with the good stuff.
Bookend with some highs. This one's kind of tough for me because I don't actually know what my high like I don't have
You didn't have a favorite part of this
high
section?
I think it probably was the scene with Swan and Nynaeve and Egwene on the ship.
That's fair, yeah, it's a great scene.
I think it's a great scene. I think it says a lot about the characters and like where they're headed. And it also, like, we get to know Swan a little bit more, and I find her, like, really fascinating. So that's my high for this section of the book.
My low, I've already said it, but it's just Nynaeve's, like, intelligence. Like, I just wish she felt smarter. Because I like her power, I like her character, I like her, like, personality, but she just is, like, so, the way that she goes about her goals to me, I'm just like, girl, like, you could be more successful if you weren't so obvious. And yeah. I just find it a little bit like, come on, Nynaeve. Like, go after Moiraine. Like, do what you say you want to do, but do it smart.
Yeah.
And I find that, I just find her to be sometimes difficultly written. And I'm sure it's intentional, but it's just kind of like, okay, you're doing, you keep making the same mistakes and expecting different results.
Yeah.
And I find that frustrating.
Yeah. I think my low, and it's kind of low. It's weird for me. I don't love how obviously evil Selene is.
Oh, I love it. Because
really? Okay.
I love that Rand can't notice it because of her power.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, the way that they played those two things off of each other is why I love it.
I guess so. I just was like, guys, are you kidding me? Like, I know Loyal is also, like, young in Ogier years, but, like, and I guess Huron is, like, kind of a wet noodle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just like, I was just literally from the first moment, I was like, she's so sus.
I like when books give the readers information that the characters should have, but they're too caught up in it to notice. And I like following that along because it teases
That's
the,
fair.
like, when is Rand gonna realize when, and like that, I find that game to be fun if it doesn't tease for too long.
Yeah,
if it goes on for books and books, I'm like, come on. But like, I have a feeling by the end of this book, we're gonna get the reveal, and Rand's gonna feel like an idiot, and like, I'm excited for that moment.
Okay, yeah, that is totally fair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My high, I have two. Like the whole Nynaeve sequence is so good. I really like the 3 tests. I think that chapter is really good.
Yeah.
But for me, like the moment that I felt like the most joy reading this was the prophecy I brought up. That moment with the orb.
The orb, yeah.
And because it was the first moment where I was like, Sightblinder, I know what that means. I felt like connected. I felt like I was
You're like picking up the threads.
Yeah, I really felt like I was like sewing it all together in
that
that moment. And
100%.
so, and I love the way Robert Jordan writes prophecy. And there's so many prophecies in these books that I've been having a lot of fun with that so far. Yeah. So that was like the most enjoyable moment of reading for me in this section.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I really like Rand. I like Rand a lot as a character. I find him fascinating and well written, and I'm so excited for the direction he's headed. Yeah. And for where for where it's the possibilities of growth are in him. And I just, I'm surprised at how much I relate to Rand.
I was going to say, I find that Rand is very relatable in a lot of ways. Like, especially, like, I was 100% that person that was like, if anyone tries to tell me what to do, I will do the exact opposite. You know? Like, you'd be, like, cleaning up your room, and your mom is like, clean your room. And you're like, no, I'm not cleaning my room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was, like, that person.
You still are.
That is not
I've asked
true.
you to clean the bedroom many times.
What?
And there are clothes everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We just got back and we're doing laundry.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the clean clothes.
What?
I
was like, wait, what?
It's
like,
what are you talking
about? Where did I leave that?
If I had legitimate grievances about something in our house, I would not air them on a show.
No,
that would not. You know what, guys? I'm gonna end the show by airing real grievances. I'm just making jokes.
I was confused. I was like, wait a second, did I leave?
No, babe, I'm just making jokes.
I know. I love you.
I love you more. Y'all, that is gonna be the end of this show. If you want to hear more about our honeymoon, 4:00 Eastern Standard Time, I will be live on twitch.tv/nerdynightly. We're gonna talk about our honeymoon. We're gonna talk about everything that happened the last 10 days, and then I'm gonna be playing the new Horizon Forbidden West. That's right, it came out. Aloy is back in my life. I'm so excited to play this game. So that is going to be on my stream at 4:00. Come join us for that. And next week, oh God, what are we reading until? Does anyone know what chapter we're reading to next week?
I can pull
always forget.
it up pretty quick, actually. Here, let me pull it up in pins. Here we go.
The chapter 37. Read until the end of chapter 37 for next Friday. Y'all, I hope you liked this structure that we came up with today, with me having more notes, going chapter by chapter. I think this is what we're going to do from now on. Although the show was 2.5 hours, I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats. It means the world. Thank you to everyone who is joining for their second month as a Narg of the Nerd Table. If you want to be a Narg of the Nerd Table, that's our YouTube membership program. It means a lot to everyone who's joined. Or to the person who joined our Patreon mid-show. Thank you so much. Thanks. We're going to have some fun Patreon stuff coming soon now that we're back in town and have the internet again, because we did not have internet for a lot of our trip.
It was really bad internet, yes. But yeah, please drop a like on the video. Leave a comment to the algorithm, Lanfear. She's hungry. We gotta feed her.
And stick around this weekend on the YouTube channel. We're gonna have our spoiler chats for the finale of Boba Fett, as well as the final two episodes of Peacemaker, all of which we've seen but have not recorded yet. So stick around the next couple days on the YouTube as we finish up those shows and get ready for Batman in 2 weeks. Are we gonna watch Uncharted?
Are we? I've never played the game.
Okay. You can watch it. Thanks for a great show. Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.